I'm Cyberchroma, and welcome back to another stream. We have the cube. The cube that is down there and over there. Yeah, so my attempt to, in Unity, make a Rubik's Cube that can be turned through chat stuff. So, in Editor, I can type messages here and, you know, do all that fun, funky stuff, even like slice moves, moves that turn the whole cube, all that kind of stuff. You just saw a second ago, full algorithms, even if they have brackets, because sometimes when you see algorithms online, there's like brackets involved. Oh, even like counterclockwise turns, you know, turning the cube, you know, double in direction, all that nice, cool stuff is supported. Even wide moves like that, or in that format, because there's two formats of that kind of turn. And yeah, coming along very well. It is, yo, by this point, very functional, which is awesome. So, what do I want to do next? There are a lot of things that I can be doing in terms of just like polishing things up or adding more features, functionality, all that kind of stuff. What I think I want to work on next, oh, that's not the right thing. I didn't even open up my code. Earlier today, I've been working more on Hangman with Unicycle. I don't have a whole lot to show off there. I was about to be like, oh, let me go show off things. I mean, I can a little bit. Wow, it looks the same. More that behind the scenes, I've been working at cleaning up a lot of things with code. Just, I still have so much more cleanup to do that we'll get more to that when we'll get to the next stream where I actually am working on this stuff. But I've been going through a lot of scripts and just cleaning up a lot of different miscellaneous things. Well, I guess one thing I can actually show that's more new, I guess. We'll get to the cube stuff in a second, but just to show off things I've been working on that's also coding related. I made this input manager. Wow. So, a thing that I had been meaning to do for a while, but just kept, you know, putting off doing other parts of the game. Yeah, so all of the input in my game is now controlled in one place rather than scattered throughout many bits of code. It's all managed here, and my first time using Unity's input system thing that they have, not over there, over here, this thing. Yeah, first time properly attempting to use it. I think like years ago I like briefly tried to use this kind of thing and then didn't like it, and then went back to just manually doing like, you know, if input.get key down and like that kind of stuff. But yeah, no, this has been useful. I even like put things in different categories. We got like the move input, camera input. Mouse stuff isn't here because I get mouse stuff is like the one thing I still get manually, where over here through just mouse.current.delta read value, basically the same. So that, you know, works well for my case. This drone camera thing, with its feature I kind of got to resurrect still, but it's there. Interact is its own thing for reasons I'll explain in a second. Pausing, menu things being different than normal movement stuff. That's just, you know, a thing that can be done and dealt with. And just mapping controller stuff. Where's over here? Mapping controller stuff and keyboard stuff onto the same thing. So now everything in the game that was once keyboard only now does work with controllers. So that's cool. And I have some debug commands for me. My auto fail and auto win things I had before. And now I also have just using the buttons at the top to set the frame rate for earlier today. I was doing some programming with like getting stuff to be frame rate independent, mostly with moving the camera, like with the mouse, moving the camera left and right at different frame rates. It was moving at different speeds, so I had to, you know, clean that up, make that work, and then have both like controller and mouse both worked with that in conjunction. Now I have these split up into separate categories because different parts of the game I want to enable and disable certain types of input. So I have where is it, over like here. Mainly, the reason that interact and normal movement stuff is separated is that specifically when you're interacting with things to fix a ride in my game, I want to disable like just movements, move in like WASD, the moving character, and also camera input, bundling that all together, specifically when you're interacting with stuff. And then outside of that, there are, like if we go into like a cutscene, if we pause the game, if we beat a level, we're seeing the win UI, or if we fail a level, we're seeing the fail UI. I want to disable like movement and interact stuff. So most things outside of the player that want to make the player stop moving is going to be doing this. But the interact stuff specifically wants to disable like the other parts of player movement other than the interacting, so that does that. And then I have this that's just, you know, bundling everything together. And even having debug controls being its own thing, I can, in theory, hypothetically, easily turn that off. I could if I wanted to make this like build or editor only that this exists, and then, you know, then it wouldn't actually be in a build. But that's not something I'm too concerned about at this point. Anyways, input manager, cool. And yeah, I've just been going through and, well, by having that, I've been able to clean up different code in different places by routing things through there. And then also just with different stuff with the player. Here I have this just script that's called player. That's just a thing on the player that's like an easy reference to a lot of common things that things outside the player need to get references to. So like the player's rigid body, the player's transform, just having that be a static thing. I would have liked to just call this transform, but you know, that's kind of taken, so body worked well enough. A lot of things, sometimes we'll need to check if the player is like basically on the ground or like in midair. Surface normal, like if they're on the ground, then like the normal that they're on, because the whole, you know, going upside down, up walls, all that stuff. A couple things get referenced to like a certain unicycle pivot game object that's underneath the player. So yeah, just by making this, then it's just easier for a lot of other things to yeah, just get these references on the player for free. Even like I separated rigid body and velocity as their own things, because there's just a lot of, most of the times when something else to the player is getting players like rigid body, it's just to see that velocity. So I just had that be its own thing. I can see an example of that being used over like, I don't know, here, I guess. This on the activate level stuff. So just going like, yeah, player.velocity. It's just nice, it's concise, and yeah, works well for me. Yeah. So, anyways, I can go through all day of just, yeah, different little changes I've been doing with stuff with the player, the camera, blah, blah, blah. I still have a lot more that I want to do. And yeah, I'm going to continue to do that over the next little bit. And then wherever I'm at by the next stream where I'm going to be working on that, then yeah, I'll be continuing doing that. Anyways, spent longer rambling about that than I planned to. All good. Just cool to, yeah, share how that's coming along. Back with Rubik's Cube thing. So I have a planning document somewhere over here. We're gonna see, well, how much of this I actually want to stick to, or last minute change plans. So first thing I wanted to do, when I started this, if I go back into play mode, you can even see it down there. The default orientation of this cube is white on top, green in front, because it's kind of technically the standard in like tournaments or whatever. When you scramble a cube, you scramble it like white on top, green in front, and then go from there. I personally, I don't know, just for like its, I don't know, default position, I like the aesthetics of, if I were to apply to an X2 to this, of yellow on top, green, blue in front, red on the side. I don't know, just for a default way of how this looks, I like the aesthetic of that ever so slightly better. So I want to quickly change this to be the default, I believe. It also matches my own Rubik's Cube emote thing that I have. That's just the orientation of that. Like minor thing, just thing I wanted to start with, just as we're getting in here, figuring out what we're doing. Actually, before I even do that, let me just quickly go in here, and then decide what we're going to be doing after that. So the thing after that I want to do is I want to have some code to be able to actually test if the cube is solved, because currently that does not exist. And doing that is going to be a bit tricky, but I have ideas on how to do it based on, you know, code that we have. Oh, I never put in a random counter of the day. I meant to do that. For what we're doing here, I don't have an easy thing for that. So sometimes going is easier in some streams than others. We're going to be an achievement left tracker, or like yesterday with Final Doom, where I knew how many levels were left, so like counting that. Usually when I don't have a good one, I just go like, oh, number of like errors that we have or whatever. But like, usually like be more creative than that. But oh well. For this, it's like testing if the cube is solved. I don't have an easy counter thing with that. Sometimes I can be more specific with like, oh, number of if statements that we've made this stream, number of new functions. You know what? Actually, because we're gonna be making probably a new code with this if solved, then you know what? Yeah, how about that? Go like new functions made or something. I don't know. That's slightly more creative. Doesn't matter. Anyway, just for a fun thing. Okay, but first though, yeah, I want to get the cube to be default yellow on top. Then I want to actually put in some code that tests if the cube is solved. which, yes, I have ideas for. We'll see how hard that actually is. So I assume that I want it to run, like, every time a new turn happens, then I just want some if statement to be like, is the cube currently in a solved state, yes or no? And we're not going to be doing much with that just yet, but I want to have that there because it'll be useful for things later on. And then, of what's next here, don't know exactly what I would do. It's like auto scramble. I mean, well, I could... Actually, what I could do, I have my auto scrambler thing from before, from the old input thing. If I just pressed A, it would just start randomly turning for a bit. If I set up a custom function to kind of somewhat be in like Rubik's Cube notation style, and we went like A is not a valid turn in Rubik's Cube notation, but if I use it to be like auto or whatever, and you go like auto 20 or something, then that's a function that tells it to do like 20 random turns. Maybe you could generate something like that, or something like that. Or, I mean, I could make it A, or I could have it be like you type scramble and then a number of turns. It maybe like defaults to 20 if you don't type anything in. Yeah, or actually, what I want, just A or scramble. With the cube turns, you'd hypothetically be doing regularly, having them be as short as possible makes sense. For scrambling, that's not something you do often, so saying it out loud, I actually think typing out the word scramble is fine, and then followed by a number of turns that has some minimums and maximums that, yeah, will default to 20. Okay, so typing up, like, and then in chat, it'd be like, exclamation mark, scramble. Yeah, we could try setting something up like that. Now, currently my auto turn thing just is like, once it's on, it spams turns, random turns as much as possible. So I'd have to change that to work with my queue system of like, all at once generate, let's say 20 random turns, and then spam that all out in the queue, and then his job is done. Okay. Yeah. Well, there could be two types of scrambling. One is like, immediately generate a total number of turns, or there could be like, turn on the auto turn thing for X number of seconds, hypothetically. I think I like it being total number of turns based, though. So, yeah, saying that out loud, I think that's what we're going to do. And we'll see how far we get with all that. I don't think we'll get to, like, this stuff today. I did start a lot later. Partially was just because I was doing more work on all this and whatnot, and just trying to finish what I was in the middle of. But, yeah. Let's get started. So, with this first thing, cube default yellow on top, I almost... Would it be worth... I was gonna just manually, like, take all the pieces, shift them around, and then update things as necessary. Would it almost be worth it to, like, write some code to be able to define a start position that's, like, I can put in that yellow is on top and, like, whatever color's in front, and then it just auto-colors like, places the positions in their starting position based on that? That'd be kind of cool. Or... Well, I mean, okay, one, is that even worth investing the time in? Like, I don't know how often I'm gonna change that. I mean, I could have, like, every time the program launches, it starts in a certain state. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not too sure how worth it that would be. Although, I did just get a idea on how to kind of quickly cheat this whole thing. If I just want to basically swap the colors around, if I just did this... I might be able to get the results I want very fast. I'm just swapping, and then like rename the materials in a second. But if I, you know, make that yellow and then swap blue and green here, this actually might be a very fast way to just do that. And now it is the way that I want it to be. You know what? That's great. All right. I am fine for that to not have been like a super long, tedious process. Cool. I will quickly rename the, I'll quickly rename the materials, and that's gonna be way faster than going through every piece and like moving them around or whatever. So yeah, we're just gonna, for now, we'll do this. If I decide I want to make something that actually can customize what's like the starting position of the cube, then I can do that, I suppose. Blue, and then I don't need to swap yellow and orange, or I don't need to swap red and orange is the colors I meant to say there. Okay, green. Cool. Did I get these just to, I don't know, to be close enough to what I want? Probably that's probably fine. Okay. Cool. That was fast. One thing though, under here, yeah, right. this is just a naming thing, but all of these piece names are named based on the piece that they are. So this corner was white, green, red. It no longer is. So, okay, I guess I'll have to do a bit of tedious work of doing that. Hypothetically, all of the W's should swap for Y's, and all the Y's should swap for W's. And then all the greens would stop for blues, but any orange, red or orange would stay the same. I guess somehow that's, yeah, I guess could work as a consistent-ish thing. Okay, well, yeah, white, green there, and then this is gonna be, or no, yellow, blue there. Let me turn caps lock so I'll just make that easier. This white becomes, yeah, yellow, and it's on green since now it's green, yeah. And then here's just gonna be white and blue is what it's on. All these are gonna be white, and then just, yeah, white, and it's on green, now it's on blue. Yeah, just real quick, it's only 20 pieces to quickly do this on. It won't take too long. I can just actually set the correct things and not messing these up. So this is white and blue. That's all the corners done. And now the edges. This is going to be yellow and blue. If I just look at the thing, this would almost be easier rather than me trying to look at the thing and remember which ones are swapping, which ones aren't. This one's going to be yellow, green. This one's going to be, the orange part stays the same. Oh, wait. Sorry, that was red. Oops, I changed one. It wasn't supposed to change. This one stays the same. This one is swapping to yellow and that's green in the back there. Yeah. All these middle layer ones don't change. Cool. And all this is going to change. White and blue. This one, you just change that to white, and just need to skip to that one. Change this one to white, and then, oh, I forgot about the centers. They're also gonna have to change real quick, but not, yeah, shouldn't be much of an issue. White, and this one's in the back, so it's green. This white becomes yellow. I could have named these based on their position, but I also wasn't sure if that was going to be consistent. I thought at the time that naming these based on color would be consistent, only because I wanted to change what the default is. If I, by default, made it this way, would have had less issues. Anyways, already done, I think. Hopefully I got all those right. Hopefully so. It is just a naming of pieces, so I can quickly be like, oh, I'm looking for this piece, it's that one. So not like a super big deal if I missed one for now. Like I'll catch it eventually in theory. Wait. Oh yeah, wait, no, sorry, wait, this one's immediately wrong. Wait a minute. This is white, blue, or white, green, red. What happened there? And this is white, green, orange. Now you're good? Oh wait, this one's, okay, I clearly wasn't paying enough attention when I was doing these, just rambling away more than, yeah, writing the correct things. Okay, now you're good. Yeah. Okay, sure, good, very well, fine. These are both red things, yeah. Okay, before I go any further, I'm just gonna build it so that it'll replace down there, just with what we're seeing here, just because. Yeah, that wasn't that bad. Next, onto solving, and we'll see. That was like the main thing I wanted to do today. We'll see how long that takes and how much trouble we run into with that. Oh wait, hold on, I have to actually close that. And well, now, well, if I do this, it should find it and open the correct one, I think. Maybe. Looks like it. And bam, there we go. Cool. And even it not starting on white, the fact that it's kind of on a white background. Well, it's like got the gray or the like black background that's on, but behind that is like the white background. It doesn't, you know, it stands out more from that, I suppose, hypothetically. Anyways, cool. Did that. Cool. Next, solving, testing if it's solved. So I'm gonna, we're gonna go into Rubik's Cube Manager, and this is probably gonna be the thing that's handling this. First thing, I want to just have a big, like, public bool at the top for just is solved, and this is gonna be a thing that we're just gonna be able to just, actually, technically, it is gonna start being true. And after every turn, I'm just gonna update this variable just so that I can see in the inspector this, you know, being correct. So we talked about this before. Well, sounds on paper being like the easiest way to check if the cube is solved, but is actually going to be a bit flawed, would be that if assuming the cube starts in a solved state, that as soon as every piece goes back to where it started, then the cube would be solved. That's almost true, right? But hold on, I'm go in play mode to demonstrate. If I do, you know, a U-turn and like, oh no, it's not in the solved state, and then I do a U prime, that moved every piece back to where it was, so that that could hypothetically be solved. The problem with that is as soon as I do this, the pieces like individually relative to relative to the centers, they're in the same spot. That's where I'm going to be getting to. But relative to like, you know, unity space, they have moved. They are in a different spot than where they started, but they are solved. Like the pieces are all, you know, correctly solved and whatnot. So, you know, that's not correct. So we need a way to determine if it's solved or not, in a way that accounts for the fact that the pieces can move. So, should be that, like, relative to their centers that they are solved. Now, so right now, all I store in a piece in terms of it knowing where it is relatively, like, on the cube is it stores it, like, 3 direct, well, depending on the piece. For a corner, it stores 3. For an edge, it stores 2. A center, it stores 1 of these directions that tells it where it is. So this is an up, front, right, like, piece. And as soon as it moves, then these things update. That's yeah, it's like testing, like if these are what they started as, that could hypothetically, you know, shows that like a piece is solved. But I don't think that's good enough, because, you know, when we turn the cube, then that has problems. Hypothetically, I could, if we do any turns that move centers, then I could try to like update what the solved direction sort of is in some weird way like that. But then I don't like that if I am moving some pieces. Right now we only can get to worry about those pieces that moved. If I were to try and do that, I'd then have to just care about updating information on pieces that didn't actually move. So what I think I'm gonna do instead is make a separate big old enum. So we have this one of directions. Let me go in here. It's in this utilities thing, right? So I'm gonna make another one that is just color, and it's gonna have all of the colors. And I guess we'll, based on its new orientation, we'll go yellow. Oh, or no, I want to do capital A. Yellow, and then its opposite, white, and then we'll go blue. Actually, I'm basically gonna copy the starting positions that match these directions. Start yellow, then white, blue, green. On the right is red, and on the opposite of that is orange. And I probably don't need to do this. You don't usually need to do this for enums, but I will here just... No, actually, I'm not gonna. These have reasons for me to specify the numbers, and technically, if I don't specify the numbers, it still, like, does that internally, but with these, I actually, like, do some math with the numbers, so it's more important that I make sure that they're specified as correct. For this, how I'm thinking I'm going to use it, that's not going to be the case, I don't think, so yeah, we'll let it be like that. Anyways, I'm thinking that we just have the colors, and then on each piece, it has a separate thing of, like, storing its position, and then a separate enum that's also 3 things of its colors. And actually, this one would be yellow, blue, red. We set that up on every piece. And then, to test if a piece is solved, we go through every piece, and then someone to say, like, this one piece is the centers that it's connected to, the colors match. And then somehow I also got to take orientation into account, in a way that's going to hopefully make sense. Oh, you know what? Interesting. Huh. Would it be true that... No, dang it. I was about to say that to test that the orientation of a piece is correct... Oh, actually, I just realized, yeah, something that might not work. Oh, wait, hold on. What's erroring? Oh, you don't like that I made a thing called color. You know, that's totally fair. Whoops. I'll make this piece color a little bit longer. Oh, well. Makes sense. I did not like that. Hold on. We go back in here. If we make a thing for colors, I've just realized that I'd have to like, hold on. Looking at like, you know, a piece like this one, now, based on how it just moved, its current direction, like edge info is back and then up because it's top face. Oh, it's, so the thing here will always be the thing that's yellow. Interesting. So I can look at this. Oh, okay, I may be seeing a way to be able to get orientation into account, but lining up particular... The thing that's going to be tricky here, the puzzle piece I have not solved yet, is... So, like, we can look at a given piece and determine what centers are around it as just a conglomerate list, but knowing... Like, if we're on this piece and we're like, what are the two centers that we're bordering? It's going to be this one and this one. Knowing which is which in code in terms of which one we have to care about, which one we want to test against what, right? Like, as if this piece is swapped, like so. I don't want this to have the cube think that it's solved, right? Well, by doing this, then, like, these would have updated. This would now say up, and this would say back, right? We're from, wait, we're the front of here. Yeah, this would technically say up and then back or whatever. Having to link that up, I don't have a good way to, yeah, I'm not sure. I don't have an immediate good idea to be able to, like, do this in an easy, efficient way. A separate question is, do I want, like, each piece to have, like, a boolean on it called, like, solved? Like, so I have that solved thing on the Rubik's Cube manager, like, the whole cube. Would I want each piece to individually track whether that particular piece is solved, and then the Rubik's Cube manager has to then go through and look at all those booleans, but then each individual piece, every time it moves, updates itself? I guess maybe that can be a way to, like, split up the labor. Either way, I'm gonna have to, like, loop through every piece and then do some calculations, and whether it's currently, like, solved or not is dependent on, like that state changes every time a turn happens. You don't have, I mean, when a full cube rotation happens, then its solved state wouldn't change, but I still would want to, like, go through that code that updates them anyway, I guess. Okay, so we have the start of an idea, so I think let's just start attempting to code such things, and maybe as I'm writing it, hopefully the rest will come to me. We'll see. Okay, so we keep track of the pieces. I guess the first thing that I'm gonna need is on center info over here. One thing that's easy is that centers are always solved, I guess. Okay, blam, and okay. So I mean, I don't need to make a boolean on here that's like is solved, because it would always be true. But if I were to make I'll put it underneath, I guess. Public piece color. I'm gonna call it piece color rather than just color, because color is kind of a thing. It's taken. And then equals this dot yellow is gonna be our default here. Okay, so just to start, like, the easiest thing of that, but, like, this is gonna, the centerpiece isn't gonna use that directly, but the edge pieces are gonna hypothetically, yeah, actually use this. So this should just match all of these hypothetically, assuming I named things correctly. So this is gonna be green, this one's gonna be red, this one's gonna be orange. Now I could make this same thing on the edges and the corners, but before I do all of that and then, like, change my mind and go about this some completely different way and then have wasted time doing a bunch of tedious work, I guess just to, like, cut up the problem, we start with just, like, deciding that all of the edge pieces are solved, and if all the edge pieces are in the right place, then we pretend the cube is solved, and once that's completely working, then we add in corners. There are less corners, but each edge piece individually is simpler because it's only two things I gotta worry about rather than three. Well, so either way to do that, I'm gonna then need in is it edge info. Also doesn't help that I haven't, like, looked at this code in a bit, so gotta remember how a decent amount of it actually works in the first place. Anyway, so this is gonna be rather than piece color, it's gonna be a multiple thing. Piece colors, whatever. It's fine. Okay, this is gonna have like the same formatting of this, except instead it's gonna be piece color. It's gonna be in here, piece color dot yellow, and we'll say the default is what front was, which is blue. Blue. And yeah, I didn't put in direction there. Hold on. This like that. Okay, just as a default temp thing. And then real quick, as I try to scramble to figure out how we're gonna do this for real. This one's yellow blue. This one's gonna be, well, these top ones are all yellow, so it's gonna be this bottom one that's gonna change. We have to figure out how we're actually gonna do this. Like, I have part of an idea. I don't know if it is the best way to go about it. I mean, it's always the case with these things that there's multiple ways to approach the same problem. Just gotta find what's gonna work best for me, for my situation. But the main idea of just like going off of the colors and comparing the colors to the attached centerpieces. Okay, blue, orange. And right now, like I don't have a thing that like is always keeping track of for a given like piece what are its bordering centers. And I'm hoping to not have to make that functionality if I don't need to, because it gets complicated keeping that updated with when centerpieces are involved. Okay, this bottom bit, only this needs to change to white on all these. Yeah. Wait, no, these change it. Never mind. My bad. Wrong. It's green. Gotta make sure that these are correct. If these are, any of these are wrong, then that's gonna cause us some issues. That's blue, red, green, orange. Okay, that's all of them. That didn't take too long. Okay, those two are orange. Yep, and then, okay. Hopefully that is gonna be fine. The order of this is correct as far as I... Oh, wait, what? How is this wrong? What? Wait, when did this become green, red? What? Did I... Oh, earlier when I skipped the middle pieces, was that a mistake? It might have been. Oops. So wait, this is green. This is changing to blue. Okay, my bad. Okay, this is changing to... Yeah, these are just swapping. Whoops, meant to do that. I just missed it. This one also is on the green side. Yep. Wasn't looking carefully enough. Oh, well. And this one is blue. Okay, so swap these. This one to blue. This one to green. Okay, now are you good? This one's green. So blue, red, green, red. Basically, the initials here should match what's in here in the same order. The order is important, as I've said. Top was fine, though. Yeah. Okay, and none of the directions changed, pretending that yellow is still the top. Okay, so that's the sort of framework of this in place. So every time that a turn happens, that is... Where is... Excuse me, manager over here. We're going to put this all over here. Every time a turn happens, that's all this. Or every time a turn completes. I guess I could hypothetically run it beforehand. But no, it should be after a turn completes. So this is the bit that executes a regular turn. Where then afterwards it goes through all the edges, goes through all the centers, does this, like, turn function that exists on all of them. And then, oh yeah, I forgot we made that snap position thing. So I could, like, in here, hypothetically... This is the bit that's then, actually in all of this is the bit where a turn happened. So I guess, if I do have, okay, yeah, if I did like on a edge info, I go, actually I'm gonna put this at the top so that it's just because public, bool is solved. And it's gonna start equaling true. Calling the, like, thing to update is solved in these rather than in these sounds easier, I guess. Or at least, like, this is already big and bulky enough. So, yeah. I guess public void. And we'll see what I, like, after figuring out this calculation, if I then deem that it's going to need some stuff from Ruby's Cube Manager, which it might, and if that's the case, then maybe some of this code will be dumped out back there, but we'll see. So just calculate if solved or something. Okay, and then, well, it's gonna do a bunch of stuff and then decide well, either it is solved, Boolean is gonna equal true or false. That's the plan. Okay, and then here is gonna, after any turn that happens, it's gonna wanna do that calculation. I don't think, I mean, so like, okay, hypothetically, actually, if I am splitting this up this way, in theory, a whole cube turn would not change the state, so I could actually ditch it there. And you know what? If it's split up that nicely, then I guess I can do that. Yeah, whole cube turns isn't gonna change the state, but wide turns, slice turns, normal turns are all fair game. So, how can we, being on a particular piece, know whether we're solved and, like, the extra bit is knowing that we're in the right orientation? So, if, you know, we have these associated colors, it seems like we need to get bordering centers, and, you know, should be 2 of them, consistently only 2, and then see if their colors match ours. If they do, then we're good. The issue with this is knowing which one's which. Make sure we get the centers in a way that then we know which one matches. I guess, well, you know what? So we know that, we know that this, so of these 2 directions, and the piece color never changes, that's not going to change. We know that the first direction should match with this color, and the second direction should match with this color, so that we know. So if our current direction is direction.up, if we then specifically seek out, there's only 6 centers, which center is the one that has direction.up, and then is that one specifically yellow, and then which direction currently has direction.front, and then is that one blue? Yeah, I guess that would hypothetically work. Then the question is, how do I do that in an efficient manner? I can for loop. Ideally, I don't have to for loop through all the centers. I mean, there's only 6. Not a lot, and you know, if we find it early, then we don't have to go through all 6. I'm trying to see if I think I'd like to bundle these together. I mean, as soon as I find one of them, then test that one. But, like, keeping track of, like, an index that could... we check other of them first is a little bit funky. Well, let's at least, like, start with this. I have a way that might be a little bit messier, convoluted, but might, in theory, work. And if it does, then, you know, that would be... like, then we can try to clean it up, speed it up later. So, get the bordering centers. Now, how do I easily do that? We have, on Rubik's Cube Manager, it has... we have the, this list of centers. This is now what's almost making me think I should calculate this from Rubik's Cube Manager and then pass that information along. Unless, I mean, if I made, maybe like some helper function type thing. What if I, Again, several ways to go about this. Which way do I want to do this? Okay. I could... It's like, okay, on paper it seemed nicer for, like, the edge itself to calculate everything of is it currently solved or not, but that the Rubik's Cube Manager holds the cards of, you know, references to all the centers and all that sort of stuff. Unsure if... Because right now, like, down here... you know, it does the turn, and then here it's like, from Rubik's Cube Manager, it's calling turn and going into here. The idea of then, from here, it's then going back and getting information from Rubik's Cube Manager. I don't like that going back and forth behavior. But I also don't like the idea of just this having an extra input that is like all the centers. And well, we don't know until like after this is done. Any version of these, then we would know. After these happen, only then would we know like, okay, what position are the pieces in now. Yeah, I don't want to pass extra input to these, but maybe I just have a function here that instead of getting called from these, maybe, yeah, instead of being called from here, maybe it would be better if calculate if solved happens from Rubik's Cube Manager, and this would then pass input that is the centers involved, but then to know the centers, unless this, I just pass in the list of center infos. I don't like the idea of doing that. Unless I make this, well, if I make this like a static variable or whatever, it still is then like back and forth stuff. Let me just start with this, and then we'll see if I, yeah, clean it up. If I just have calculate if solved be something that Rubik's Cube Manager calls and then passes in just the list of all the centers, then this can go for each that, go through all the centers. If we find the one that is equal to, we'll go direction, no, what do I actually call you? Current direction. 0, and then, so if that direction is equal to our direction, then like that's the center that we're interested in. Then, so like we found it, so then after that, then we'd want to have it, I get, well, then we're just, do I want to test this here? I guess just to, yeah, do this, like find the centers and then test them both. Or, I mean, doing it one at a time. If I find the first center and then see that it's in the wrong, it doesn't match, that I don't even have to bother searching for the other one. So I guess actually doing it up here would hypothetically be better for performance, assuming that most of the time the pieces are, scrambled, not in the right position. So then so this is the center that we're interested in. So then if center dot color, piece color is then equal to piece colors 0, then that means that we're good. I guess, well, if it's not equal to, then go, this equals false, and then return. If it gets, well, I mean, so we know that like one of the centers will match, else then break. We don't need to check any more centers. I don't know if that's, actually, well, if I'm gonna do that, then hold on, do it this way around, I guess. Not that it matters that much. And then we just take this, copy it, and then have a 1. Well, at this rate, though, then I might as well just do it all together. Yeah, I was trying to see if I could, like, well, yeah, no, it would be better to just, well, then I can't break, though. Not that that really matters here. So if we find 0 and we find, if we find that one is 0 and then it matches, then, that's one of the things that match. That's good. I could hypothetically do nothing. Continue. Well, we could continue at least because we know if it matched here, it's not going to match here. I guess this doesn't then need to continue because there's nothing after it. But whatever. Just for the consistency, I guess. If it then gets down here, that means it had to have been fine, and so is solved is true. I could even, to clean things up a little bit, I could put, like, start with assuming that it's false, going through all this, and, just returning that, like, saves a line, I guess. So assuming that it's not solved, go through here. If we find the center that matches 0, then we test 0. Like, if the directions match for the first bit of the direction, then we test those colors. If they match, then we're good, and we can like continue because we don't need to check that center for it's not gonna be this one. And if we find one of these and it doesn't match, then return immediately with it being false. This guarantees that we will be checking all 6, but 2 of the 6 are gonna be ones that we're interested in. It could be the first 2. I could is it like I could keep track of an int that's like centers found, and once it hits 2 then break, but is testing that even worth doing? Like if I just, you know, put int centers, oops, centers found equals 0, and then go this plus plus if centers found is equal to specifically 2, then break. I don't even need an else on the continue because, like, if it's like else, we'll go here. Yeah. Just deciding. Like I could do this, but is it worth doing this as opposed to just not having it? It's like slightly cleaner and smaller if I don't. And I mean, after every turn, it's gonna go through 12 edges and do this calculation where then each time it's gonna be looking for all 6 centers. So I guess that adds up. So sure, save a center check occasionally. Have I written this right, or is this gonna cause me problems? If this is equal to, I guess if I really am caring this much about the performance or whatever, usually it's good to, in an if statement, put the more common scenario first, and it is technically it's more common for the colors to not match, or it's more likely anyway, if most of the time the cube is gonna be completely scrambled, hypothetically. But then as you're solving it, then eventually when you're doing like OLL and whatnot, most of the pieces are, so, well, even while you're going in the middle of an OLL algorithm, then a lot of pieces won't be solved. So yeah, it's more common for individual pieces to be not in a solved position. So flip the not, and then I guess just swap these. And same with over here. Okay. If they don't match, return. If it matched, then add to our counter. If we've found 2, then we can break. Otherwise, you continue. I guess it's more likely for this to not be true, but the not having that be not having the, like, I don't need this in and else. It can just be there. Then, like, I guess that's fine. Even, you know what? Actually, I'm gonna take out this continue here because it does not matter. I don't think. Or I don't know if there's tiny bits of performance of it, like going out of the if statements rather than immediately without anything going back up to the top, but possibly not. But at that point, I'm like caring too much about having this be as efficient as possible. Whatever. Okay. Yeah, that works, I guess, hypothetically. So I guess, like, oh no, nothing actually calls this. I made this assumption that I'm calling it with the list of centers. So I guess now, because then I also I need the Rubik's Cube editor to then update this thing. So after any turn, we're gonna have a function down here that's like void calculate if solved. It'll have the same name, but calculate if whole cube is solved. And that's gonna, you know, do calculations and then go is solved equals true, I suppose. So this is gonna have to go through every single piece, I think. I only need to update pieces that actually moved. No, that's not true. Oh, right, yeah, sorry. Pieces that didn't move, if a center moved, and the pieces that didn't move could potentially update to then they don't match. So actually, I think, yeah, after every turn, I'm going to have to calculate if every piece. Except for, I don't know if there's, like, if I do a whole cube turn, everything will be in the same state it was in before. So I guess that's the one exception. Okay, so assuming I called this from somewhere, then this is just going to have to for each, what's my quick, like, up here? How do I go through every, not corner, really go through every edge? Just, well, yeah, this, for every edge. Then, and also I'll do the same strategy of having it, like, assume that it's false, and then sort of see if it updates before is able to get to the end of the function without returning early. So go through every edge, and then edge dot calculate if solved. Do I actually want this to return a Boolean then? Like actually, well, actually, if I'm gonna do that, then do I even need the Boolean on the pieces themselves, or I'm just gonna go if calculate if solved? Yeah, I guess it's a bit redundant, isn't it? Well, this isn't returning it, but just pretending for a second that it is. If it's true, then actually, if it's false, then return. Otherwise, then we're good to just, like, you know, go to the next edge, and so on and so forth. Oh, I have to pass in the list of the centers, so centers. I guess. So in that case, yeah, I was gonna have this, but I guess I don't really need it unless I visually want to look at it. And you know what? I do for now, I think. To make sure that's working. So I will keep that there for now, but then I still need to actually return stuff. So bool, well, yeah, fine. I guess it'll just be return false, false. This and return true. I suppose. I'm just deciding if I want to do this differently. I almost want to make like two functions. Calculate if solved, and then like, or like get if solved. To then, I don't know, just get if solved just gets this value, but like calculate if solved actually does the calculation, but nah, I don't know if that's worth splitting that up. Anyway, sorry, were you still erroring? No, you're good. Okay, you pass all that, and then da. Okay, calculate if solved. You're still not being called. That's fine. We'll get to it. And if it gets to the end, then it must assume that it's true. I suppose. And then we have the same thing for corners, but we'll get there in a second. So now, every type of turn, I guess, at the end will then just, oops, calculate if solved. And, you know, just for extra flair, I'll just go like, if we got here, that means the whole cube is solved. For now, I'll just print a thing that's like, the cube is solved. Easy enough. I almost don't need the actual booleans themselves, but it's just nice to look at in the editor, for now at least. Oh, I didn't even, I completely ignored my random counter thing. How many, we made this new function, I guess. Add to the thing. And I'm like debating whether to like split it up into further. Oh, you know, we made this too. That's new as well. So fair enough. Okay, calculate if, I'm actually, you know, I'm gonna just rename this to calculate if cube solved. I really want to make this a full sentence of is cube solved? Calculate cube solved. I don't need the if in it. Calculate cube solved. I guess. And then just because I'll change this to calculate piece solved. Piece is singular. That rename there. Okay, sure. Whatever. So this needs to call at the end of every turn. You know, even before try next turn, I think. That shouldn't matter that much, but okay. So for wide turn, this is for nope, not exclusively. Don't happen for whole turns, hypothetically. Okay. Here. I mean, I could, every time a whole turn happens, have it spam out like, yep, the cube is indeed still solved, but that doesn't seem necessary, I think. Save slightly on performance to not do that. Okay. Cool. This also, so if we do, like, a U2 move, it doesn't, like, calculate it, like, at each halfway point. It's after the full turn, then it only calculates it once. That's, like, a tiny thing that we get on, based on how we've done this, I suppose. Is solved. Yeah, so it's solved is there. Is this good to go? Kind of. Well, edges only for the moment. I should go into play mode. I guess well, not because the cube is assumed to start in the solved position. I don't need to calculate it on start. So I should see when I press F, this should turn off, and it does. I could real quickly go through every piece and just well, yeah, just have a look at, like, did the right ones update for what is solved and what isn't. Like, this one's solved, cool. Should be all the ones that are, like, around here that aren't. So solved, yep. Looks good. And then the corners, actually all these edges down here, these are the ones that actually move. It's solved, it's not. It's not. Uh-oh. Well, that's not good. This one thinks that it's solved. Why? This one updated, but these didn't? Why? Well, that's not good. Oh no, I was so overly confident that that would be fine and would work. If I do it again. Oh no. Now, this one doesn't think it's solved, which is correct. Did it... Wait, it's like going through every piece, right? It didn't, like... Did I do something wrong where it's only checking, like, the first piece or something? Okay. We did a normal turn, which is down here. Go through each edge. If the piece is... Oh, I did totally do that. Help to do that. Well, like, okay, technically, if I don't care about the booleans, technically this is faster. It is true that, yeah, as soon as I see that one piece is not solved, I can return immediately. I don't need to calculate whether the rest are solved. That is technically true. That now, for just like the underlining code being cleaner, do I want? Like, this works good for just a quick check of, are we solved? We see that one piece isn't, so we know that the whole thing isn't solved. But I kind of want each piece to internally know at all times whether it's solved or not. That could be useful later. Especially if eventually, I talked about if I want to make an auto Rubik's Cube solver thing that goes roughly through the sequence of CFOP of like making a cross, making F2L, like that's gonna be super hard. But hypothetically, assuming that we're already at the OLL and like PL stages, having an auto solver that just looks at those yellow pieces and then determines which OLL or which PLL algorithm it needs to do. If I wanted to do that, that hypothetically might start with, or even just actually the PLL part could just look at all the pieces and see which ones are solved and which ones aren't. And but then also before doing that, look at like the whole like, you know, first two layers and make sure that all of them are solved, so that like we're in a valid state to do it. For stuff like that, there's hypothetical cases where I do want to know like every single piece, which ones are actually solved and which ones aren't. So I thought I was being clever here of returning early. I guess not. So we're actually just gonna do that. We're gonna go through and calculate all of them. I'll not flip it like that. But then I need to like, well then I won't do it like this. I'll just like, actually then I'll do the opposite. Actually, start with it being as true. As soon as we find one that's false, then make it false. And then, if it's false, yeah. Start with a true, go through all of them. As soon as you find one that's not solved, then set it to false. But then keep going through the rest of the pieces anyway. Anyone, like, it won't, like, the next one that's true won't set this to true or something. I guess that's good. But then it will update all the pieces. Sure, fine. Very well then. Okay. So now, if I do this, it's a good thing that I did check. I guess. So all these ones are solved. Let's give you these ones down here, the ones that actually move. That, like, because they got parented and unparented, they kind of move down. So, yeah, not solved, not solved, not solved, not solved. Okay, cool. That looks like correct behavior looking purely at edges. What I'd like to test before I go much further is, if I quickly do a couple turns to get, let's say, you know, this yellow, blue edge to be in the same position but flipped around, that is not solved. I could have a separate check for if I wanted to care about, like, is this piece in the correct position but not in the correct orientation or whatever. I don't think I need to... I don't think I need that at the moment, and I'm only going to care about making such thing, something like that, when I decide I actually need it, I guess, for something. Like, for OLL, like, that could maybe be a thing, but we'll see. Okay, so, but like, yeah, I'll worry about that when we get there. But just for this bit, so, getting the yellow, wait, why are you, oh no, the yellow blue piece just in the same spot but flipped around. So let's go like F, and then R, and then U, and ta-da, did that. So currently, it does say that it's not solved. That is indeed correct behavior. Cool, that's just, those like decent chance that that was indeed working, and indeed it is. Cool. And I did see that it, when I like moved it and then moved it back, it did spam that well, I only did it once, which is good, I guess, that the cube was solved. I guess just to test more things. Not over there, over here. I do. The other types of turns, they correctly, especially ones that actually are going to move the centers. That's important to make sure that that's worked. Oh, okay. I'm wrong. The cube thought that it was solved. That's, you know, not correct exactly. So the center info things on themselves, they don't care about what position they're in. Okay, yellow, blue, here. Oh. Well, so technically, if we're going purely off of centers, every piece on the slice here is solved relative to its center. It's all these pieces along the side that are not. So all of these ones should say solved, and all the rest of them should say not solved, hypothetically. But I'm guessing that that's not what happened. So I look at, like, this edge here. Oh, wait, sorry. Wait, no, this says that it's not solved, and that's correct behavior. In here, though, the ones on the slice say that they're solved. Wait, why does that look correct? And that looks correct. Why did this do this? Or did it, wait, did I, like, not pay attention and, like, put it out beforehand? It shouldn't be doing it on start. Yeah, no, it didn't. And if I do, like, an F turn. Oh. Oh, right. Wait, no, I'm a fool. I'm a fool because I just changed my code. It always gets to the end, so never mind. If... Oh, is solved. Okay, that's fine. It might actually be working. Cool. How about now? So I do this, nothing. F prime, stuff. And if I do an M move, nothing. Down prime, things happen. And just to further test that it can be in a solved state while being in the wrong position, like not being from the starting thing. If I do an M and then follow that with an R prime and then an L, in a second it should say solved. It did. I saw it there. Cool. I don't know why I put these. This is in two things, but okay. Oh, because it's slice turn and then normal turn. They, yeah, count different. Okay, cool. If I do like an M prime and then like that's back where it started, but these pieces ain't solved as far as they're concerned. Nope. Good. But the ones down here, indeed they are. Awesome. That is good news. I didn't mean to go to play mode there, but whatever. That, yeah, things seem to be working as they should be. Cool. So, like, that's that for edges. This, yeah, turned out to not be that bad. I guess now we go and put the same thing on corners over here. Also, because we're not using them, I'm just going to get rid of all those using things at the top. I see that they're all grayed out. They don't need to be there. Where's, center info? Same thing? Yeah, why not? Just a little bit of housekeeping. Okay, so, for corners, it's just going to be a bit of copy and pasting of just have the same colors thing. Yellow, blue, piece color dot red is gonna be our default here, and then I'm gonna have to put all these values in. There's only 8 corners, but there's 3 of them. That's gonna take a little bit, but we'll come back to that in a minute. Let's get in the rest of the code here. So this should be the same. I don't. Well, no, this doesn't match. Whatever, it's fine. Oh, good. Okay, we're just gonna take this and we're gonna put it over here, and we're just gonna go blah. He's also just gonna take in the centers. Because the centers don't change, I almost like passing it as input just feels like a waste. I almost want to make it like a static variable, or have, yeah, some static thing that gets called, but well, it's something we could come back to if need be. Okay. With this Rubik's Cube program, I don't need to be worrying that much about performance. More like my unicycle game, I've been cleaning up a lot, trying to both make things easier to code and work with and have less repeated code, but also, yeah, performance matters more there. Okay. So is something true? This won't be the same exactly. Well, it kind of will be. It's just with an extra thing of going to that there's 3 things it needs to check out. And I guess this can be 3. Although, yeah, so it's going to guaranteed look at least half of the centers. So this becomes like less worth it, but whatever. I guess it's good practice to have. The continue that was here can be here. Yeah, that's more useful, I guess, and that skips this and skips this, I suppose. Do I need a whole lot else here? Center info. Not sure I do. Other than Ruski manager on here that needs to actually call it, so that's like here and here. Corner info and corners. Yeah, nice and easy. This is just like wasn't part of it because like I set up stuff while we were setting up the cube in the first place. I was thinking about this somewhat while we were doing this, and like whether I wanted to keep track of like an ongoing list of associating centers, and like that was gonna be harder to keep track of and whatnot. So we already like did some of this work beforehand. Kind of, even just having the current direction stuff set up, but it's just nice that, yeah, this, like, I wasn't sure if going into this, it'd be like a whole, like, many hour struggling to figure out how to get this to work in the first place kind of thing, but, so far, yeah, seems to be not so much the case. I do gotta put in all of these, though, before I can actually test this. Otherwise, every piece is gonna think that it's there, and thus, that won't work so well. So if we look at, like, well, this one, this is yellow, blue, and orange. Orange isn't red, wow. Who knew? The blue is changing to green. Oh, and this is changing to orange. Yeah, okay. And then here, yellow, green, and red. Only a couple. It won't take too long. This, I should just quickly go through it. All of these bottom ones are changing to whites. Actually, can I can shift select them. Yeah, okay. Well, I actually did that probably. Yeah. Sometimes with like custom data types, shift selecting and changing stuff doesn't always do the intended thing. Okay, so this is white, blue, red. And this is white, blue, orange. And just be white, green, orange. And this be white, green, red. One thing we didn't end up quite using that I thought we did is I made the enums initially over here for the directions. I made them in a bit of a priority order where it's like up, down, have priority over front and back, have priority over right and left. I thought I would end up like actually testing that, or to know that the piece is in the right orientation. It's just like if this is in ascending order in terms of what's in the current direction. So if it was like front and then up, that meant it was flipped around compared to up and then front. Didn't quite end up needing to do that. I mean, having the consistency there was nice, and this being consistent with this, I suppose, also nice. Yeah, actually, it was funny thing is that like well, no, just I could like compare just the number of this to the number of this, but that's not true when we turn the whole cube. If we assume that the centers didn't move, then yeah, there were ways that we could hypothetically simplify this further, but no, that's not the case. Anyways, so like, oh wait, did I sorry, did I put in well, I can get rid of this. That's not what I was looking for though. Over here. This. You go through the cubes, you go through the corners, and then yeah, that's all you need to do. Fair enough. Okay. If I just do a red turn, wow, cool. It moved. I would go through the pieces and like you're solved. Those are the back ones, and these edges. All the ones that didn't move are kind of up top, so it's like it's gonna start with all the ones that are solved, and then go through the centers, and now and the hidden core piece that we use for slice moves, and then not solved, good, and then corners, drum roll please, yeah. Yep, not solved, it's not solved, not solved. Cool, that's, yeah, seems like it's working, as it should. And if I do an F prime, then go back and says that it's solved, and that's now saying that, looking at the corner pieces, that, yeah, seems like it's working wonderfully. Do an M move, just to make sure that it's properly handling itself with slice moves. So, corner, no, yeah. Actually, none of the corners should be solved right now. That's really interesting how that is. Let me go down to the edges, and like most of these edges are not solved. So right now the only pieces that are solved are the edges that are in the slice. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, and then just to further test this, if I then like do the other turns to get this to be all lined up, so it's gonna be just an R and then an L prime. That does that. Cube is solved. Yep, that changed to 2, so it did do that, which means that, well, that means that if I go through all this, they should all stay solved, which they do. Cool. All right, that like doesn't seem like it was that bad. Awesome. I thought that would be harder, but good that it wasn't. It could be possibly cleaned up a bit, hypothetically. Do I want to make some kind of, you know what, just one quick thing I can do, I think, to make it a little bit simpler is I have this, I'll reference a bunch of centers. I kind of want to make like a, copy something that I've done on in my unicycle game. Public, static, Rubik's Cube Manager, instance, and then just making this a bit of a singleton kind of thing where I don't need the whole check of, sometimes when you make singletons, like there can only be one of this thing, you check if there are others and then destroy them if that's the case. We very much do not need to do this. We're not, that here, we're not going between scenes or anything like that. Just so setting up the singleton thing here, I'm not really doing anything in start, so I'll get rid of that. And then the point of doing that was to then make some kind of public, static, center info list called just, I don't know, center list. Use a better name for that, but the point of that was to then basically have a static reference to all the centers that then just has a get thing that's then just like just return instance.centers, I suppose, if that works. Basically just doing that, so then over in this, where this gets called, this passing it as input every time just seems very much not necessary, so so now then this can just be Rubik's Cube Manager dot centers list or something. Oh, you still don't like that? You should have a reference to that thing that I just made. Centers list. It's all of them. Okay, sure. Then that does that, and then that's just feels slightly cleaner, slightly less just passing variables that don't need to be passed. Rubik's Cube Manager dot instance dot centers. Yeah, centers. Oh wait. Oh, I actually wait. Sorry, wait. Or no, I could go Rubik's Cube Manager dot centerlins, or I could go dot instance dot centers. This is like shorter, so yeah. Yeah, less long doing the same thing, I suppose. Okay, cool. That's just minor improvement. And I don't think I needed to... It's just those places that I did that. I will have to go back over here, and now that those functions aren't passing input, then this can go away. Cool. And it should work the same way. Cool. Tiny improvement there. And with that, I guess, go back to my planning theory here, we changed yet yellow being default to the top, and testing if solved. We now have a reliable way of doing that, and we can grab those booleans as we need. So next thing I want to do, I guess, is, like, I totally thought that would take a whole lot longer. Surprised that that didn't. Oh, by the way, I got a new water bottle, so that's a thing. My other one was getting old, and yeah, time to get a new one. Anyway, I'll set this one in store a lot more, so there's that. Anyway, auto scramble is a thing that, well, like, it's kind of functional. Some of its functionality is still in here, but it's not really usable right now because all of this way of doing input is currently turned off. But if I can now maybe re-salvage some of this code and apply it to in auto scramble function, that'd be pretty cool. Is this gonna be a massive pain to do? Let's find out. So the first thing, well, the first thing we're gonna do is get it to work with my input thing over number once it was over here. Or if I just type in, as I said earlier, the format that I think we're gonna do is scramble. And if you just type that, then it'll do like 20 random turns. Scramble, and then a number. It'll do that many. It should have a cap, of course. Yeah, let's see if we can get that kind of thing set up real quick. What is my immediate plan on how to do that? So first, let me just find. I gotta like find where I accept input, and that's currently very much expecting like Rubik's Cube moves, and take the scramble thing as being a special case where it deviates into different stuff. Okay, so to do that, where's my code that does the input reader? I think is what handles that. Get test input, that's from my input field. Yeah. Okay, so input instructions. Yeah, I don't want to mess with this here. In here, then this will be able to match with chat stuff, so like exclamation mark, scramble, whatever. This trims the exclamation mark, right? Oh wait, I kept this turn thing? Did I keep both? Wait, I thought I got rid of this. Huh. Or maybe exclamation mark, turn, and then whatever it allows, but then also just the moves on them as themselves. That may be a thing I get rid of. But let me just have a quick peek through. Where was the bit over here that I changed at one point? Over around here. Get city message, and then does it strip out the exclamation mark automatically? I thought that it does, but I'm not so sure. I mean, it works, so it must. Just typing in exclamation mark F makes this happen. So I'm gonna assume that it does. So I'll have to test at some point if I type exclamation mark scramble if it is also stripping out the exclamation mark on its own. Hopefully it is. I don't believe this bit. Like, yeah, actually I'm gonna get rid of this line because it's not supposed to. That's from old stuff. That's not how I need that to be anymore. So assuming that from this point down is gonna just say scramble on its own or scramble space a number. Okay. And okay. If you type in like, you know, F, R prime, you know, M, whatever, and then scramble, that's no good. That's gonna be like, it's either all normal instructions or it's just scramble as its own thing. I don't want it to be like jumbled together. I think just, yeah, keep it simpler. Also, I'll lowercase. So if you type scramble like all caps or lowercase, like, or any mixture of, that should be fine too. Okay, so yes. So how am I doing this? This bit wouldn't matter for the scramble thing, so it can be after. We trim out like white space, and then I split it up by spaces, new lines, and tabs, make it into a list. So at this point, in theory, I could test. How do I want to do this? And then here's add turn to queue. I'm just deciding what point do I want to like split off. Well, I guess well, if you type like exclamation mark bracket like scramble, that shouldn't be allowed. So I should probably actually test up here. Up here, do like test for special functions first. So if, and this I think I can test more like outright. If special instructions, well, actually, if it specifically equals scrambled. So actually, wait, maybe I do actually have it here. Let me actually be easier. Just do, because if it's already split, then I can then I can test more specifically for word, and then like getting my own arguments out of it. So if input instructions, or just here, if instructions 0 is equal to, or dot lower is equal to scramble. We'll just start with this before we worry about the input bit. Then this is gonna do other like special stuff, and then it's gonna return here to just like not bother trying to calculate the stuff down there. well, I guess I should also then test, like, if it's length. Dot length, count, sorry, is less than 2. Well, either it's just scramble and then nothing, or scramble and then specifically a number. So I'd almost be like, if it's count is 1 and it just, and that thing is scramble, or if it's 2 and the thing is scramble and something else. Something how to best way to like combine all that together in a way that's concise. Oh, whatever. We'll come back to it. We'll first just get it to work. Just this. So assume that like it's just one thing. If we have one thing and that thing says scramble, then special instruction is to do what? We want to have to hook this up with my random turn thing. Where is that's over here. Now this is like buried in update. I'm gonna need to kind of rip out some of this from here and change it a bit, because this like is every update like that it's able to, it generates a random move and then does all that. Here, let me just copy from here to here for now. And I guess this version of this kind of should be in, it kind of should be in the input reader. Also, the input reader isn't as long, so I'm more fine with it being here than in the Rubik's Cube Manager. And I think in the long term, this code, this version of this code is gonna be gotten rid of, probably, in theory. Okay, so over here, blah, 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 and that thing is scramble. Then we want to actually, no, that's not how we, this should be like in a function that's like, void generate random move turn. And that's going to go do some randomness. You're going to make a next turn string here. Hold on. Okay. Good. Okay. Make some random numbers, and then instead of turning, it should, because I want to generate all of them. I could generate all as like one big algorithm and then pass it to this, but no, that seems unnecessary. Well, actually, if I'm gonna have, because I also need to set up their speed, but I know how many I'm gonna generate before I generate them, so yeah, sometimes I see here, I modify the speed a bit based on the number of instructions. I'm going to have that number beforehand because I know how many I'm going to generate, so that should be fine. Okay. So this thing here should be able to generate a random turn. Let's say it actually returns a string. Then down here, return next turn. Okay. Blarg. Cool. So then from here, I guess we're doing just a classic for loop that goes to 20, because that's what we want to do. We're going to say that 20 is the default unless it's specified. Generate random turn, and then I guess actually we'll make a list. Well, actually, I don't really need a list to then add to this. We're just going to generate the random turn and then pass it into here. So equals that. Make a new thing based on it. The instruction is, we'll go next turn, instruction, pass it to here. Modification speed is gonna be, well, roughly, yeah, we're just gonna go straight into this calculation. Say 500, no, not that, hold on, 500 plus, whoa. We don't know the count beforehand. Count is, actually, I should only generate it once, because that would be the smart thing to do. So we're about to go in here, up here, go like, just scramble speed equals, oops, didn't mean to cut that out. Blah, okay. 500 plus this bit, where this bit is gonna be, I said, number of moves that we're doing, which is actually, I guess I'll make it as a thing here. So int, I don't know, like auto turn, like number of turns to generate, number of random moves, how many how do I scramble moves, scramble total scramble turns. What do I call this? Just variable name that's just how many turns are we doing for this scramble? What's the default? Scramble turns. I don't know. It's gonna be by default 20 unless we specify elsewhere, and then that's just gonna be passed in here. And I guess it's also gonna have to be the length of that. Cool. Scramble turns is 20. Float. I guess it would be an well. Not that it matters, but whatever. Okay. Scramble speed 500 plus that much. That'll just match with the other thing. And actually, should a scramble be faster? Nah, probably fine. Probably fine as it is. Okay. New turn at that speed, and then just add it immediately. I could put this in here, but I like it being at least the one line of separation to like generate the thing, worry about that, and then add it as one thing where this is just passing in data rather than generating stuff in here. I think just looks a little bit cleaner. And then we add it to the queue, and then that's it. Then we return because we don't need to go down to any of this. I almost want to. Like, this is working and whatnot. I kind of want to just put this in a separate function just for it to be a little bit cleaner. Void scramble function. I don't like calling it a function directly like that. Scramble, like just it's a special input. Special input scramble. Scramble, generate scramble. Scramble cube, whatever. That's probably fine. Okay, and you're just gonna pass in. What do you need to pass in? I just call it from right here, and then over this, over to here. This can call this. Oh, you don't really need to pass in anything at the moment. So this would hypothetically work if we don't pass in any extra input. I guess we'll test it now, and if it's working, then I can then have an extra thing of how many turns to generate. If, well, I mean, hypothetically, if I don't, I could randomize the number of turns to generate, maybe between, like, randomly between 15 and 25 or something, just for even more randomness. But if I type in scramble, will this work first try? Yeah. That looks like it's working for me. Cool. Very cool. Awesome. I do think I hypothetically want the scramble speed to be a little bit faster seeing it. And it's 20 turns that it did. Where is... Especially if I want to potentially allow more. You could type in, like, scramble and then, like, 50 or something. That should probably be sped up a little bit, right? Hypothetically. Also, I made new functions. I didn't add them to my account. So we made, what, generate random turn, scramble cubes a function. Sure. So I'd add 2 to that. Cool. Okay. So, scramble cube, is that. Let's say, like, 600, which might be too much. I was debating whether I wanted to increase this bit. Actually, I do. We'll make this, like, 40. Just so that each additional turn will add a lot more, hypothetically. Okay, cool. It was working, which is awesome. Cool to see. Next, if I want to be able to go, like, scramble space a number, how would I do that exactly? I guess, and I could test it as a separate thing here. If it's equal to 2 and that is to lower equals scramble and wait, sorry, I put an or there. What was I thinking? Putting an or there. If it's 2 and it's that, and then 1 is a number. I mean, do I want to try to try parse for a number? Don't I do that already over, like, wherever I get the speed somewhere? This, yeah, right here. If I went something like this, try parse the instructions 1 and then get out a a thing. So int scramble speed, scramble count is what it was. Sorry. Actually, then here I could, well, just set that, the default. Scramble count, what I said would be 20. And it outs this. It doesn't, if it doesn't, actually, I forget how this works. If this, no, yeah, wait. If it can't parse it, I forget if it leaves it untouched or if it sets it to, like, 0 or something. Not knowing that, I should probably just do this kind of a thing. Also, this should, like, not be as two separate things, but I just kind of want to get the rough, like, how this should look. If this count is less than 3, just to cover, it's 1 or 2, and the first thing is scramble, then in here, then we can worry about possibly extra extraction. Okay, so then make this scramble count be 20. And you know what? You know, we're gonna go random.range between 15 and 20. 26, that's between 15 and 25, just for more randomness. And we'll pass that into here. Scramble count is then in here. Int scramble count. Scramble count is this and this. Yeah, okay. And this is gonna take scramble count. Okay, so cool. Then if it's less than 3 and whatever, I don't need to test for this bit. We got that. If it's equal to 2 specifically, and then the thing is that? Else. Actually, if we're just, if we got in here at all, that should be returning at the end. I'm gonna say, if it did this, then that, else. Or if, actually, I could go, if it's equal to 1, or this fails. Well, if it fails, then that means that there's some other invalid data there. If you go scramble and then just gibberish, that should be grounds for rejecting the thing entirely, I think. Or do I want to just be nice and allow it anyway? If you go like scramble space and then gibberish, do I just do the scramble anyway? Or exclamation mark scramble and then gibberish, do I just allow it anyway? I could. But I was going to do that, then I wouldn't necessarily have this count test. I almost want to just be proper. We're allowing that, like, scramble doesn't have to be capital, it can be lowercase. So yeah, maybe I do force it to be actually correct. So if it's less than 3, then do stuff. If this is, I don't know, how do I want to do this? If it's equal to 1, then we're doing like nothing. We're just continuing. If it's equal to 2, and we do this and it fails, then that's grounds to return immediately. Bail on this. Otherwise, it got out a scramble count that's not this. But I just don't know. I don't actually know if this is gonna mess with that. I suppose I could go scramble count and then don't set it. And then set it here. Oops. So then if scramble count is 1, then it'll be false. Oh wait, oh, so no, if it's equal to 2, no, if it's 1, then that will be false. Hold on. If this is true, then it'll skip down here. If it's 1, then it's gonna try to do this anyway. Hold on, this ain't the way that this should be done. Also, what's your problem of being, why are you grayed out like that? I don't know. But hold on, just having to rearrange this a bit. If this is less than 3, and then the first thing there is scramble, then do stuff. Set up a scramble count that we're about to get. If this is equal to 1, then we're continuing no matter what. If it's equal to 2, then we're testing to either possibly change scramble count or bail entirely. So actually, I think this would be better if it was 2 if statements. So like, if that, and then go in here, not with the or, do like that, and then, hold on, just, I gotta correct this, something like that, okay. So, then changing what's inside. So if it's 2, that's like, either we're changing it, not from here though. Well, else actually, then that would be there. Okay. If triparse works, then, oh, actually, no, sorry, so have it still be the not, but then have that be your turn, and then it wouldn't have an else here. So have the buried if statement, but like, if we get here, then this definitely isn't running, is what I'm trying to have be a thing. Yeah, okay, there we go. So this has reason why then these aren't combined, because of the way this else needs to behave. So if it's 2, then do the parsing. If it succeeds, then we got a scramble account. That's, you know, we got something, so do that. Otherwise, return, which means like bail early. If it's down here, we'd have a count of 1, so do that. Yeah, and because of the less than 3, we don't need to be like, we don't need to test other things. I will actually, because if I'm going for the more common case, I think it's more likely that you just type scramble, so I'm actually going to swap these. That's more just because I feel like it thing. Okay, so if it's 1, generate it. Otherwise, see if you're going to get a count and return. Oh, I should clamp it, right? Whoops, yeah, that's actually an additional thing I'm going to want. So actually, knowing that, I actually will be making an else. And because I'm going to do that, we're going to put this back here. We're going to assume that the more common case that the input is correct. So then here, we got a scramble count, and we're going to use that, but do some clamping on it just in case. And so maximum and minimums. We'll say minimum. I mean, could you go scramble 1? I guess you could go scramble 1 if you wanted to just do 1 random turn. So unlikely, but I'll allow it. Do 1 random turn, and we'll say maximum is 100. That might be too much, but hypothetically with the scaling up, like hopefully that'll be okay. Okay, that took like too long just to make what. I mean, yeah, it's a complicated if else whatever, but like just to make sure that everything was gonna work how I want it to work. Okay, let's test all of that and see if it actually does all of what I want it to do first try. Scramble. Actually, I'm just going to copy this so I can paste it. So scramble on its own should still... I believe I can have it print out how many turns it's doing. But oh well. Scramble 1 should do 1 random turn. Wow, look at that. If we do it again. Wow. Cool. And then I do scramble. Let's do 100. Wow. Whoa, okay. Interesting. It's going... How is it? So that worked, hypothetically. It was going so fast that we weren't able to see the turns, and yet it wasn't so fast that it wasn't, like, instant. Like, that took many seconds. Interesting. Let me just do default 20. Yeah, like, look at how fast that's going. Is that like a frame rate thing? It's... Why are you running at 24 FPS, according to this? What? This shouldn't be having any performance issues. Why at all is that happening? That might be contributing to why it seems so... I didn't manually do that somewhere, did I? Oh, you know what? I might have. Now that I think about it. What, over here? I did specifically outright do that because I was like, oh, if it's a little thing running off the corner of the stream, I don't want it to be contributing to, like, performance issues of, like, a game I'm playing or something. Let's bump that up to 60 for now, just to mess with it. Scramble 100. Okay, see, they're actually seeing turns happen. Okay, sure. I prefer that. Yeah, look at it being smooth. I can type scramble multiple times, and it's just gonna keep adding to the pile. Eventually it'll finish. There we go. Whoa, what are the odds of that happening? Actually, the yellow on the other side here might not be. Oh, no, it's not the exact opposite. Okay, fair enough. Look at that go. I think it's cool. Oh, I think it's very cool. And then 1, some random turn. Yeah, and then 100. Surely with this, like, surely allowing it to be 60 FPS isn't going to be a problem. If it is, then I can worry about it then. I think if I'm in the middle of a stream doing whatever of all the things that are going to contribute to possible performance issues in games or whatever, I don't think this is going to be that high on that. That's 60, yeah. Wait, what? Is 50 supposed to be that high? Uh-huh. It is mesmerizing. I guess the next thing is, like, do I want that to be how fast it goes? So 100 hypothetically is the maximum. I guess the answer is, like, how long is it actually taking to do all that? Like, that's how long it took to do 100. Maybe I will lower the scaling a little bit, not too much. For 100 random turns, it shouldn't be instant in theory. All right. Yeah, I want it to take some time. Where is over here? I'll put this to 30, I suppose. Just a little bit. Not so fast as it generates lots of moves. Yeah, okay with that. And then the 60 as well. I could make it even higher, but I don't think that's exactly necessary. And just scramble on its own, somewhere between 15 and 25. So, yeah, all right, cool. We got ourselves a scramble. And it is doing, like, all of the possible valid moves. Yeah, including that, like, when I set this up a while ago, it does have some stuff that affects, like, the frequencies of some moves versus others. The sort of standard, regular Rubik's Cube moves are slightly more common. That, you know, slice moves and whole cube turns. I guess slice moves and whole cube turns are just as common as each other, and I guess I'm okay with that. It generates like a possible move, and then has another 50-50 on. Oh, is it? It's a. Oh, if it's greater than 6, then it has the chance of making it lower. I mean, technically that's. Well, that doesn't matter unless I make this. I should make this an 11. It's gonna have the same behavior. Is greater than 11, yeah. Yes. So, only if it happens to pick this from the upper half, then it does a 50-50 on making it a wide move, just because that's, I guess, a quarter. Well, if looking at just the cases where it picks these moves, it's like a quarter chance for it to be a wide move, I suppose. And then after whatever moves it generates, then it's a, well, not a 1 in 6, but like 2 of the 6. 2 of these do nothing. 1 of these makes it double. 2 of these makes it counterclockwise, and 1 of this makes it double, but like in the other direction, just to allow that to be an option, just because. So, yeah, I guess it's a 1 in 3 of doing the regular turn, a counterclockwise turn, or a double move, but I split these up just because, yeah. So that's the thing. Yeah, that's how that randomness goes. I could, if I really wanted to, allow you to put in like a seed, just seed the random generation, but I think that's overkill. There's some parts of this that I don't think I need to go to that degree of overkill on. Oh, I didn't need to press whatever buttons made that happen. It's one of Unity's like debug menu things that does something. I don't know what buttons did I made that happen, but oh well, it's fine. Anyways, scramble. Look at it go. That is awesome. Cool. That also that took some amount of time, but also didn't take, you know, that long. Yeah. Cool. There, yeah, it's working. I don't have much else to say. It is doing the thing that we designed it to do. And now from here, hypothetically, I could start solving. If I look at that white face and then go, knowing that green is on the other side, going something like, actually from this angle is a bit funky. If I went like, U, and then, actually I don't know what face that is over there. If I, prime, that is, oh, that's orange. It's actually the right one. So then if I went like, okay, doing this with like, I brought white up so that I can see it. Let me actually not do that. If I, is Z from here moving that down? It is. If I went, D and then L, no, that's not, no, let me undo that. Oh, that's F. Yeah, and then G prime. And let me also just move. No, is it Y? It's gonna turn that way. Yeah. So we got two edges in place. I don't know where the blue white edge is, but I could go like whoops, U2, and then in F. Actually, to test multiple algorithm things, F and then R. Not R. I mean R prime, and I'll do R2. Oh, there is blue. That's a thing. R prime. Nope. I keep doing the wrong directions. It's fine. And we got the white cross. If I bring it up to C, then wow, look at all in all its glory. And then if I wanted to solve, ooh, is that this here could be an F2L pair, or this could be what matches with this. Let me bring it around, and no, unlucky. So if I instead go something like L, yeah, L, and then U prime, and then L prime, and then go U prime, and then F prime. I have to do it all at once. F prime, U, F should put the, nope, not if I do it wrong. How do I keep, right here, right now, I keep, messing up clockwise and counterclockwise. Oh, well, it's fine. And then that's just gonna be that there. Wow, I got a corner and edge in place. Wow, cool. Is there any other easy ones around? There's a difference between easy and like in hand Rubik's Cube versus doing it in this. Oops, sorry, it's hit. Like that there, I don't love. If I just go, okay, we'll do something like this. We go R, F, U prime, and then R prime, just to have moved that edge away, and then, how would I would want to go like U, and then, I'm actually gonna go Y2, move it around that way. Actually, no, no, we're not gonna move it there. And then I'm gonna go to get this edge here, and like this corner, this edge paired, and putting it in here would be something like that'd be F prime, and then U prime, and then F2, and then yeah, wait. And then R prime, and then an F prime. Is that correct? Not at all. How do I keep messing that up? No. Where did I just wait, you're over. Oh no. Okay, I thought I'd be confident and just do the perfect thing. Where did I, how did I, oh, you're up there now. Oh, that's, wait, how did I get that? That. Oh, and then, well, now you go back down there. That's on you. No, hold on. Y prime. Oh wait, no. Oh no, I did get it right. I just did the last turn the wrong direction. Okay, cool, fair enough. What I'm doing in my head is move the wrong face. I'm like this way, and like I don't know. What I went to do. Well, actually, I don't want to recreate this here, but where I like, you know, what is front? Where then I like move around and I'd be facing like this being front in terms of like undoing certain things. When that's not how this is here, where this is front, this is right. I almost want to like change the camera angle a little bit more, so like this, the actual front side is more emphasized. I don't keep pretending that this is front, but unsure. Anyway, well, we're already starting to like solve this, so I guess we'll finish it off just for, whoa, invalid, wait, oh, maybe that was, oh, okay. Should look for errors like that, although that was actually correct. I don't know what I pressed, but I pressed the wrong thing. Sure. So, I want to go F prime. Oh, that's gonna put those edges together, but not the right way around. Never mind. F, get that back down there. U2, and then we're gonna go F prime again, and then actually, well, U2, and then F, just F, and then U2 again. Bring that back around, and then go F prime, U prime, and then F. Is that gonna be correct? Yeah, look at that edge in there. Cool. And U prime turns that way. Cool, 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 cool. Ooh, this isn't great. Okay. U prime that way, and then something like, I'm just gonna Actually, we're gonna prime again. Maybe something a bit, maybe not the best way to do this, but oh well, if it works, it works. Just turn those away. Just get that out of there where it's facing up, and then now we'll, it's gonna be, R, and then U, and then R prime. Yeah, look at that there. And then U, R prime, U, R. Nope, wrong ways around, dang it. Doing a lot of moves like that at once, and then the early one being wrong is very concerning. Oh, no. F prime there. No, that's not even... I was looking at the orange and be like, oh, F prime would turn that way, as if that's the way I'm facing with. It's not the case. No. Dang. Okay, hold on. I can fix this. R prime there. Reconnect those edges, and then U prime, and then I was about to press F again. No, that's R from that side, the way that I'm looking at it. And then go R again, and then U prime, and then put this in, not F, it's R prime, there. And ta-da! Like that. Look at that, solved F2L. Isn't that pretty? Cool. So with that, now we're on to OLL and PLL, and I will cheat for this last step. I could solve this hypothetically, but let's speed things along here, and let me just pull up the cube database, look for the OLL that matches this, and we're just gonna find it and do it and have this work. Okay, OLLs. Now we gotta see, I guess I'll move this over here a little bit. Which of these matches what I'm currently looking at? I see we have like this thing and that over there. That's what I'm looking at to start. Is it? It's not that one. Not that one. This also gets to kind of test that the putting in brackets part of my code still works. Okay, none of that. Nope, you're somewhere far down. Francesco, hi! Hello! Hey, thank you for the subscription! Hello, 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 and welcome, and also thank you so much. Very much, greatly appreciate. 26 months, that is insane. That is a lot of months. Too many months. Thank you. I very much appreciate. We are doing more with my very insane amount. Yeah. And I'm currently doing the insane thing of solving my virtual Rubik's Cube through, well, yeah, just typing in commands to do that. And we've done this a couple times now, but as my program gets more developed and more sophisticated, yeah, things be working better. I think this is gonna be this one. I think those yellows are, yeah, gonna be hitting on that side. So in theory, if I just copy and paste this in and press enter, magic should happen. I had the wrong one. Never mind, magic did not happen. All right, now we have a completely different OLL case because I had that wrong. I made assumptions that were incorrect. I assume so, that I didn't just copy and paste. Oh, you know what? I think I just did it relative. I totally did. I saw the thing, oriented my head. I didn't turn this around. Okay, that was my mistake. I had the right thing. I just didn't orient it right. Okay, let's try this again. So we got a 1, 2, 3 thing going on there. That's looking a little bit like, I think, one that I passed earlier. This, maybe? Or this? It looks like... This one looks promising. It looks like it is. Okay, so have it actually be facing the right way. So those things up top, so do a U, and then from that way, paste, and go! Do magic! Yeah, there we go. That's what that's supposed to look like. All right, so now we got that going on. Actually, I can turn the whole cube, so let's do that. We got 2 pieces there. Oh, it's just 3 corners that are funky. Okay, that's a PLL. Well, let's go find that over here. This particular website, the PLLs are harder to like match because, as you'll see when this loads in but a second, I'm matching like colors where like most websites that have like PLL algorithms is just like arrows of what pieces need to swap for it to be solved, but oh well, we'll work with it. So I'm looking for 3 corners. Actually, looking at what's solved. So like you got like a corner here that, or like a whole like corner and 2 edges that are solved. Oops. Hold on. Y2. Turn back around there, and then all the edges are solved. So that's also a helpful thing, I guess. Okay. So I'm looking for a corner like this. Oh, is this not it? I found it. Is that going the right way? It is. Okay. Cool. So it looks like if I do with this being front, we get to see. Oh, we also get to now test. This is actually a mildly important test, assuming I'm putting in the right thing. When the cube gets fully solved, we should get to see, and I shall, if it's gonna actually print that it's solved, like if all of the, each individual piece, knowing whether it's in a solved position or not. Okay, we're gonna see if that's still properly functional after doing all these turns. Yeah! I'll also see if I actually put in the right thing. I put in the wrong thing. Well, actually, that just shuffle those pieces. If I do it, that's because they needed to go the other way. If I actually do the same algorithm one more time, it might, properly, yeah, it did. Okay, woo! Yeah, all right, that's fine. Knowledge of cubes, in my favor, I guess. And, down there, it's like, yeah, the cube is solved. Woo, that works. Hey, that's the algorithm I use, all the time. I don't as much. I haven't learned full PLL, so what I do is just a lot of doing, T-perm, specifically. Oh, actually, yeah, I just realized that this is the top one on the thing. Technically, the one we needed to do was this one, but doing this one twice is the same effect as this well enough anyway. Yeah. Wait, did I not? Or wait. Oh, wait, did I look at this and, because I saw that these two match. Did I look at this and then copy this one? That might have been what I just did just now. Anyway, but yeah, cube is solved and code is working, and that's all awesome and stuff. Francesco, if you're just getting here, what we also just programmed and got functional is a scramble function that does a bunch of random moves. So that's there. Scramble. Whoops. And then you can even put a number of moves. So I can put like 2, and it does 2 random moves, or you can do scramble 40, and then it does 40, and it caps out at 101. So yeah, and then the more moves you tell it to do at once, it goes faster, so that, doesn't take a whole stream to do the 100 moves or whatever. Also, if actually, if I spam algorithms over and over, it just adds it to a queue, and once it finishes one turn, it goes to the next. So it, yeah, can do that, and that's very cool. So it's still going doing all that, and it's scrambled yet again. Yeah, a lot of just little cool things. Wait, is it gonna? I don't know if, so I set up, I can type here the functions and have it work. If I build this right now, and I'm gonna close this and have it restart. Oh, errors. Errors? What are you trying to do? Why are you? Visual Studios loves to do this, of typing, can sometimes be helpful when you're typing code, automatically adding the using functions that you're missing. It likes to just add a lot of random ones that shouldn't actually be there, that I know that there's somehow to turn it off. I haven't cared enough to go hunting for it, but, yeah. Cube commands, yeah, there they be. I guess I gotta update it now for these, the new things that were just added. But, yeah, I do have Nightbot spits all that out. The new thing that was just added is that scramble function, which, well, it'd be exclamation mark scramble. All right, that's running over there, and, I'm going to test it out myself. Just to make sure that basic stuff is working. Are you, hey? Oh, you tested it for me. Hey, there we go. All right, tested it for me before I even got to it. Woo, I didn't know if scramble would work, based on how the stuff that handles that works, but as long as it starts with an exclamation mark, yeah, it is actually functional. Woo! Yeah, I think that's cool. I also right now, like, in some Twitch streams, people can filter out, when you type in commands, they get filtered out for showing it up down there. I don't have any of that on at the moment. I could hypothetically do that, but I mean, my chat doesn't get flooded that much anyway, so for now, I'm fine having them all show up there. Even Nightbot commands show up there, which I'm also fine with. Anyways, but yeah, that's working, and yeah, very, very cool. I don't know if my random count thing is it, did I add any new functions in the last couple minutes? I don't think I did. We've just been messing with this one and functions we already wrote. Yeah, oh, that's cool. I think it's also cool. It's just a random for fun thing. It's twofold. There's one that I just wanted to see if I could make a Rubik's Cube in Unity just for the fun of doing that. And 2, it's just a cool random little down there chat thing that is when I'm not here for a couple minutes, or the 2 minutes at the beginning of my stream, it's also there and running, so it's hypothetically a thing while I'm away. And yeah, continue to just add little things to it. And yeah, just I don't know, for a fun thing. I would like to, at some point, what would be awesome, more of a wish list kind of thing, would be to, also I can see that the big program over here, I see it turning without even looking down there. Yeah, it is cool and whatnot. I would like to make an auto solver kind of thing. I think that would be cool to just like, and not like, there's two types of like auto solve thing. There's like, you know, mathematically calculate the minimum number of moves and like whatever, or access some database that probably already exists that I can have it do that work for me and then do the optimal moves to solve it. That'd be one thing. What I'm kind of more interested in doing is having an auto solver that solves it in a CFOP kind of fashion, like how people, or like me, how the way that I go to solve Rubik's Cube, you solve the cross, then F2L, and then the whole yellow layer with OLL and PLL. Also, I see messages. I'll catch up in a second. I'm finishing my sentence. It'd be cool to not just build a full auto solver that does all of that. Start with building a thing that does stages. So like auto solve the cross, and it does that. Auto solve F2L, and then it does that. Auto solve OLL. Mainly the OLL and PLL parts of that seem the most reasonable, like easily doable. If hypothetically I'm in the last stage of the cube and I can, let's just say if I'm calling that function, I already know that I don't have to do validation to make sure that I'm in that stage. If I put auto solve PLL, let's just like, you know, assume that we've already done the calculations to know that like it's not just we're looking at a scrambled cube, just looking at like the pieces that are solved and the pieces that aren't solved, plugging that into just the 20 whatever PLL algorithms and like, you know, finding which one to grab and then just doing that one, yeah, would be, that sounds easy enough. And then OLL is just like slightly harder than that, just looking at all the yellow faces, hypothetically. And then F2L things and cross sound a million times harder. But if it's just look at a situation that there's only so many of and then deduce which one it is and then find the right algorithm and then do it, that sounds like, I think within my skill level, I think I could do that. The cross and F2L part, that's way harder to like detect and do. Yeah, this is the whole thing. Oh, hey, yeah, I see you're going away with, yeah, doing the turn. Here, I'll catch up on messages now. I feel like someone would mess around and scramble it while chat is solving. That is true. I've considered making like this, having a scramble thing be like a chat redeem or like a channel points redeem thing, which, I mean, hypothetically you could still spam, unless I guess that I could actually put a cooldown on. Even the commands here I could actually put cooldowns on. I've just realized there's stuff, the Twitch command thing, it actually does have cooldown stuff built in that I haven't taken advantage of at all. Right now it's all like whatever default. So hypothetically I could do that, yeah. But sticking it behind like a channel point redeem also sounds cool. Although that would take more work to like intercept those messages and then do that. But then also on top of that, having if I do an auto solve thing, having that be a high point channel point redeem also sounds cool. And so let me catch up with messages real quick. The day is agreeable. Yeah, I feel like I see. Yeah, the X's. See, I even got the like obscure Rubik's Cube moves. Like you got like, so the main ones, the, you know, front, back, left, right, up, down, whatever. But you got like the slice moves. That was a pain to set up. Whole cube rotations. That then making everything else work based on that. Of that, I can't just hard code where the centers are. I mean, slice moves are also that way, but whole cube rotations are extra that way, that I can't just like assume the yellow one is always facing up or whatever. Cause a lot of extra things. And wait, I'm confused. Why is it turning both of those when I'm doing L? Oh, it shouldn't be. R, O, it's lowercase. Oh, yeah. Capitalization matters because that's just how Rubik's Cube notation works. I wanted to stick to it. Capital letters are singular turns. Lowercase letters are double turns. I didn't make that up. The people who did... I don't know where the first cases of Rubik's Cube notation came from, but, you know, they decided that. I'm just sticking that. The one case where I cheat is slice moves are like a capital M or a capital E or a capital S. There is no lowercase version, so if you type a lowercase m, I just accept it anyway because it's close enough. So I cheat there, and then same for full rotations is lowercase letters, a lowercase x, y, or z. If you type a capital X, Y, or Z, I also just accept it anyway. But I can't really do that with normal turns like this because yeah, the capital and lowercase actually mean something different as far as Rubik's Cube notation goes. There is, like, capital F, lowercase w is another less commonly used notation that I see, but the just one letter capital or lowercase is the way more common thing. So, yeah. It also, the program allows brackets, as you may have seen a second ago, if I, oh, did I close the thing? To be able to support, to be able to, like, copy and paste one of these in here, it automatically strips out the brackets to allow that. I guess there is code that, like, if you had square brackets and curly brackets, I guess it strips out those too, but that's even less common. But I don't know, just to have it, like, have as much correction as possible on accepting inputs without just dumping them out. They do have to be currently a space between them all. Putting it so that, like, if you could just in one big message be like F R L da 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 all in like one string, that'd be like, it's doable, but it'd be more annoying to cut that out, especially with, like, the primes and the twos or whatever. I could do it, but I just haven't gotten about that yet. So right now it's spaces. Yeah. Let me catch up on the rest of your messages. Oh, I didn't even account for that. Yeah, that's just how cube rotation is. And then, oh, lots of messages. I forgot. Yeah. And it has to begin with an exclamation mark because that's usually how Twitch command stuff can work. That my bad. Oh yeah, I haven't been paying attention to what turns have actually been going on, but cool that it's actually getting used. I mean, it's only been functional and even like in the stream, like very recently, but yeah, I mean, I had it on stream for a couple streams and like no one interacted with it, because I didn't actually put, other than when I specifically talked about it, I only like 2 streams ago put the like cube commands thing like there on screen, so it's more obvious like, hey, that's a command thing that you can do stuff with if I don't specifically say it. Solve cross? You did! Look at that! Yeah, very cool. Ta-da! Huzzah! Neato. Congratulations. Yeah, very, very cool. Oh, someone solve it for the first time. That's fair. Yeah, I mean, didn't I also put, in my channel points thing, so I have my normal one that's like solve a Rubik's Cube. I did put a super expensive one that solved the virtual cube. That's not something I want to be doing all the time, but that is, I don't know, I put that there, and I mean, just earlier in this stream I did that, but yeah, that's funny. The more functional I make the program, then the easier that is to do. When this thing was in a very early state where it could only do the basic turns, I had to like work around that, if not be able to do slice moves, and that was a lot more of a pain. Even just when you couldn't turn the whole cube, I was not looking like at the game view, I was looking in the scene view and panning around it, and I'd be looking at this face and have to type B for back because the front was actually here because I was just turned around and whatever. Yeah. Then, since I already know how to, very, very cool. I'll be sure to redeem that at the most random time. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Currently, so the random turn thing is, or the scrambler thing, it's like it generates a total number of turns. I've considered having, like, also a variant that's like, for 10 seconds or whatever, keep doing random turns until some amount of time has elapsed. Which I could make, that could be a cool, like, visual spectacle of, hey, down there for like a minute, it's just doing slow turns continuously. But I don't know, we'll see. Oh, so you could have a lock command so that only you can control the cube. I hypothetically could. Currently, that doesn't exist. Oh, I mean, I can, there is, if this is like the example of what a chat message can look like and all this stuff here, I can like look at the broadcaster and there's different, like, there's actually a bunch of stuff that I can like do special things for special scenarios if you have certain badges, if you're a subscriber, if you're a mod, there's like, there's other things, if you're using certain emotes or whatever. If the color of your username is whatever, then it's like, oh, you can only turn the blue face if your username is blue. Nah. But hypothetically, yeah, I could actually set like a, yeah, custom. So if I'm to interact with that cube, I'm also just typing stuff in my own chat. I have, when I'm working on it in Unity, I have the thing here that kind of mimics chat. Actually, funny thing, if I go into play mode, I believe this should work. If you want to real quick, type a thing, any other turn. These should both turn at the same time, but currently they're out of sync. So, actually, I'm curious to see if that is still functional. If you just want to type something random. Haha! Wait, did this turn? I didn't... Uh-oh. Did it break? Uh-oh. Well, I'm a type of thing. If I do this... Oh, Okay, so, okay. I thought, okay, I think the return of a mystery bug. This is occasionally, it seems like, that one takes, I don't think it's this one taking ownership. I think or, I mean, it could be. So I've stopped it now. We've had this issue happen sometimes where the build just stops taking input sometimes. Unfortunately, I think, yeah, I'm gonna have to undo your progress and relaunch it. And I don't know what does that. It seems that, like, occasionally after a long time, sometimes it just drops input. Is it actually from going in play mode? I assumed it was random. Maybe it's actually not. Maybe when this goes into play mode and it, like, authenticates whatever, maybe it's taking... But I swear that I've moved these both together before. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, it needed to be done. That's the thing you could add to save the state of the cube. Yeah, hypothetically, yeah. I almost like, while it's like a new thing and like, I don't know, people messing around with it that much, I almost want to wait a little bit before I go too crazy on adding like a bajillion different like commands that like no one's gonna be using that often, if ever. But yeah, eventually, yeah, I have like a list of hypothetical things that I would like to add, and even polishing it up. Like right now, it's all like each of the faces are a solid color. Hypothetically, I'd like to do some Blender modeling at some point and have it look more like this, where the pieces are, you know, not perfect squares or whatever, and you can actually see, you can tell individual pieces apart. Hypothetically, I'd like to do that at some point. I'm not quite wanting to do that right this second, but eventually. Then, yeah, I get that. Oh, yeah. Because, I mean, so, like, this thing has existed for multiple streams. You are kind of the first person who's ever actually interacted with it other than me, I think. Which, congratulations. I mean, it has also, like, I've only very recently made it, so that's also part of it. And it's only more recently been in the stream, and with that Q commands thing being there. You also add black between the edges. That, too. Yeah. Well, technically, when it's, like, mid-turn, hold on, when it's mid-turn, there is black in the middle, but, I mean, you don't really see it if it's, yeah, well, okay, you can see it for a second. Well, ignore the black background, because this is a transparent background, as you see in OBS, but the actual cube itself, it does have black, but it being a perfect cube, like, perfect cube pieces does not help, because, you know, you can't really see it that much. Having it be more rounded would definitely benefit that. This was like just this, you know, easy placeholder model. It's not even, it's just a bunch of planes that are specially colored. I don't even color the faces on the inside. On the inside, outside of play mode, it's, yeah, you know, you can't see anything. When I go into play mode, I'm like, any piece that I, you know, didn't give a color, make black so that I don't have to do that manually. So, yeah, that's that. But eventually I'll make like actual, pieces, and I'll have to make, you know, centers, edges, corners, and have all that. I don't know how much I need to, like, you know, you have like the inside of a Rubik's Cube, and you see more going on with like the actual, like, the core kind of thing. I don't know if I'm gonna go that far with it. I mean, I could, hypothetically, maybe. We'll see. I'll figure out that when I get there. Now, there's also this thing of, like, my particular cube here. In between two pieces, you can see the colors, like, split down the middle. I'm unsure if I want to do it like that, or if I want to just do it the more standard, just, like, black on the inside. But we'll also figure that out when I get there. Also, there's the whole, like, stickerless cube versus over here, any of these. You know, stickered cube that has black and like this. This is more, I guess, an iconic Rubik's Cube. I like this more, even just interacting, you know, with it, not having to worry about peeling stickers. So, also I could choose at some point to, you know, change that. So right now all the commands are to actually mess with the cube. I could have other special commands that do purely visual things, like make models for it being stickerless and stickered, and some command that visually, like, swaps them out. Like, I could go crazy and do stuff like that, like, and other things. I could have, like, if somebody solves the cube, it actually does more, you know, I don't know, visual stuff, like, oh, it spins around a couple of times, or I wouldn't make it make a sound effect. If I'm in the middle of, like, playing some game or whatever, I don't need the little thing down there to be making a bunch of obnoxious noises. I mean, if it was a rare thing for only when the cube is solved, then hypothetically it could do that, but anyway. I think I was saying other things that I cut myself off in. Oh, the fact that it, like, it didn't break fully, did it? Hold on, let me just double check. If I do my own, wait, let it launch, do its thing. Oh, if I go, bam. Okay, you're good. And then just to see if I can actually deduce what's causing this, if I go in and out of play mode, is that, I didn't think that's what was severing the connection, but, you know, it might be. And then we do this again. No, now they're turning in sync. They both turn together. So I don't know why. It's not all the time, but occasionally sometimes not the build, the one in the scene seems to always be fine, I think, but the one out here just sometimes like disconnects or something. It might, the whatever like automatic stuff that's happening that I have from the package that I got that's doing this, it could be something that is like disconnecting and then never like reconnecting, and that might be something I need to look into adding or something. But yeah, that's other bits of polish that I can worry about later. It, like, right now, how it disconnected, like, it doesn't do it that often. It's happened, like, I want to say 3 times total, and even some of those previous times that might have been caused by other bugs that I've since solved or something. I'm not sure, but anyway, yeah, anyway, this is just, yeah, fun side project that, yeah, going cool. It's cool to just try to make a Rubik's Cube, have it work, and doing chat interaction stuff. Just outside of the cube, my first time doing chat interaction things, and that's cool, and now I have an idea and understanding of how to go about it. I mean, I did it in a very simplified manner for this, because it didn't need to be that complicated, but I could, and we'll just wait till the handyman with a unicycle has, chat control things. I don't think I'm gonna go that insane with that, but who knows? I have the potential to now, hypothetically. And I don't know, yeah, just a fundamental new thing in Unity that I'd never experimented with prior, and it was, in like a relatively minor, small scope scenario as this was easier to, you know, mess around with it in a scenario like this. Yeah, I had this open the whole stream, my unicycle game over here that is still making lots of cool progress. I was saying this at the beginning of the stream, I can kind of recap a bit. I've been doing some work between the last stream where I've been working on this and now. Not so much to like really show visually, but more like behind the scenes. I've been cleaning up a lot of the code and, you know, doing the same thing but looks a lot better and better for different bits of code to interact with. Like, I'm trying to set up more things on the player and the camera being more black box-like. So something outside the player wants to mess with things on the player, just calling functions that handle all of that rather than referencing like 15 things on the player and changing particular values. Let the player handle all of that stuff, is how it should be done. So I'm like doing more stuff like that. Common scenarios where that happens is where, like, when we beat the level, this isn't gonna work properly. Ignore the camera being funky. We stop the player and need them to move to a particular position. So like a lot of cases where we need to like take control away from the player and have them do something. Yeah, functions like that can do that more automatically. And also something I've already done a little bit of, like different things that take away player input. That's handled better now. So like when you get hit with hazards, when you are interacting with stuff like this, and then we take away. Oh no, don't be broken. Well, that's not good. Anyway, was that because I went on the wind platform thing? Yeah, okay. Yeah, there's still lots of bugs in a lot of places that I'm working on sorting out. Even a thing that popped up recently. So when we're repairing stuff, when we stop repairing, I shouldn't be turning away. I don't know why that's happening. It wasn't happening as of last stream. It's a new thing that showed up. I should turn towards the thing and stay turning towards the thing, but that's other little things that still working on cleaning up and making better. You should make it so Mr. Henderson read your computer files. Oh no, fourth wall breaking game. Yeah. It's cool what games that mess around with that kind of stuff can do. And you know, we'll see what kind of weird Easter eggs and stuff that I have, but I have so much proper game to make first before I need to even think about like little Easter egg stuff like that. But we'll see. Even just, I'm looking forward to when we can like have proper actual gameplay. We have 2 functioning test areas. This long strip of different gameplay mechanics that we're slowly getting to be more functional, and they're getting there. Mainly right now, what's left is a lot of camera issues. And then over here, we have our big player skating arena park. Oh, I forgot that I left the player in the underwater mode. This area, I also gotta like build an actual like testing underwater area. This is like hypothetical player movement if we're underwater. You wouldn't just be going through the sky like this. It's just, I had it set to be always on as I was testing stuff. I go back to on surface, then Yeah. Ooh, then we have this. Movement looks and works a lot better in the context of all of this. Like, wow, loop-de-loops, woo, speed, and flying off, and having the camera not spaz out. It's still, like, there's funky little things that need to be cleaned up, but it is so much better than, you know, how we've seen it previously. So that's just, yeah, very cool to see. This place is sick. I love it. I also agree that it is very cool. Although, this is just, like, we have the place of gameplay mechanics, and we have this place that's just movement. I have, like, one hazard over here, I guess, but it'll be a lot nicer when we have an actual, more of a functional, like, proper test level thing that's actually, like, cool movement stuff combined with gameplay mechanics and being able to test all that together. So an area like this that actually has rides and multiple hazards and all that sort of stuff, which will eventually be this scene over here. This. My submarine level, that's going to be the first level I make of my demo. It's going to be level 2 out of 3 of the demo, but I wanted to start with the middle one because I think it'll be the easiest one to make, hypothetically. Yeah, also when I make the first one, I'm gonna have to care more about, like, tutorial-y type things that I don't want to worry about until after I hammer out more specifics of what I want out of the gameplay. Because I imagine that when we make this, there's gonna be a lot more tweaking that happens with, like, I might find that, like, oh, hey, the player movement speed in that, like, glorified skate park seems good, but then in the context of certain hazards that you want to be able to weave around nicely, or how certain things with the rides work, I might find, oh, it's better if the movement speed is a little bit slower to dodge hazards better, or something like that, like, hypothetically. Getting the movement and, like, obstacles and the ride, like, and the repairing stuff together will be a lot, you know, better to then properly fine-tune what values of things should be, and, finding what is the most fun and all that kind of stuff. Sonic yes, that there is, well, see, what I'm doing is a little bit even better than Sonic stuff, just in that, so, like, okay, a lot of times in Sonic games, when you're doing loop-to-loops and whatnot, it's a glorified, like, mini cutscene kind of thing. Usually you do a loop when you don't, you know, it's a cool cinematic piece, which, you know, is cool and all, and whatnot, but, yeah, in my case, I have a lot of, I want there to be extended times of being upside down and on walls and stuff where you are, like, I want you to be weaving, oh no, that's not good, that's not supposed to happen. That's how that's supposed to look. Well, I don't know what fell off at an angle? What caused that? Like, cut off my own sentence. What, now it's working fine. The worst bug is a bug that doesn't happen consistently. Oh well, we'll find that eventually. But being able to, like, I'm going up this wall and weaving around hazards. This is a thing that might need to be made better. Okay, oh, as if I'm going down? Ooh, wait a minute. It is, okay, found that consistency. Thing to clean up. I won't do that right now, that's gonna happen later. This is a Rubik's Cube stream. This is for a later point in time. Okay, I think I know conceptually what's broken with that, and I'll fix that another time. Anyway, so I've said this before, I'll say it again. I cheat in regard to how I handle player speed. Oh, that's also a thing that should be facing the direction. Again, as I said, a lot of little things. Back to the thing I cut myself off many times. When you're going uphill, you don't lose any speed. As long as you're going, you're going. When you go downhill, you gain speed, which in isolation, like, makes sense. You go downhill, you gain speed, that's a thing. I like not slowing down going uphill, especially for going up a long wall like that. The consequence of that, though, is that I can, on a wall, spin in a circle, and the down part makes me go fast, and the up part doesn't slow me down, so I gain a lot of speed, which kind of looks cool, but I could see getting, unwieldy very fast. But the idea of that, like, I don't know, you do this as a move to gain a lot of speed kind of sounds cool. It's like a thing to make the player want to do, like, have to do for a thing. Like, don't hide that as a mechanic. Be like, outright, like, yeah, if you want to, like, launch off a ceiling, like, at high speeds, just go on a wall and spin in a circle and fly. Could be cool conceptually, but I gotta make sure that, like, I imagine it's going to be impossible to escape all the physicsy jank that can happen when you have a very physicsy based game. But I don't want it to be so janky that it's hard to play and consistently do the things that I'm going to want to demand of the player to be able to, you know, play the game and whatnot. So, finding what's easy to do and what's super hard to do, yeah, gotta, you know, yeah, keep doing fine-tuning and whatnot. That's actually, the speed is a little too fast right now. Yeah, like, yeah. Like, agreed, kind of. As you see, like, the player, like, from standing still has a decent, like, slow starting speed, but then there's a bunch of, like, multiple different, like, bonuses kind of in place that affect your speed. The longer you're moving in a direction, you see speed starts to pick up more and more, and I think that's good for just like, oh, hey, you've been moving for a while, not hitting hazards. Also, you're on, like, a thing that is a wheel, so kind of makes sense that, like, I don't know, faster you go faster, like, yeah, like, that I think makes sense to have, that, yeah, you pick up speed as you go for a while without getting hit. And then, in addition to that, there's you go downhill, you gain speed from that. And then, I mean, this level doesn't have any, but there could be, like, speed boosts, or, I don't know, conveyor belt things. There could be other things in the environment to gain speed. But yeah, definitely gotta, like, make sure all of that is good. And while I am still, like, continuing to fine-tune values and whatnot, I think that it's almost better to wait on some of that until, as I said, we have, like, more mechanics, and we have, like, mechanics in the one test scene and mechanics in this. We need to, like, bring them together, and have an actual environment where we have the rides, the hazards, all the obstacles, whatever, and loops and stuff like that, and start building actual chunks of what could be a real level. Like, this is just a bunch of, like, random bits of hypothetical level stuff all scattered around. You know, seeing it in a real world scenario, also, you know, this is a thing, yeah. I want this to be able to be a thing that's allowed to happen. Going from a wall onto a ceiling, gotta make sure that that is, you know, gonna work properly and whatnot. If I go straight at this, it's not gonna... The camera flips out a little bit. The camera flipping out there is more from, like, how little time I'm in the air. If I was in the air longer and then hit a roof, it would correct itself better, I think. But anyway, maybe only have it for certain levels. Yeah, certain mechanics that are, like, only on certain levels. Yeah, that could totally be a thing. I do want there to be one obstacle. I'm bundling a lot of things under the word obstacle, but I want magnet walls that, like, you can stop on and, like, be standing still on a magnet wall and sticking to them, which actually is just the behavior of, I already have some of that set up because it was easier to do that than having the falling off thing. If I just turn this on, then I go up and I stop, and wow, I'm not falling. Being able to have, like, that as an example mechanic that could be cool to mess around with. Yeah, so I have ideas, and I'm gonna lay it out. I may or may not be back later. Peace. Cool. Thanks for dropping by. Thanks for helping me test the cube. And yeah, what time is it? It is 11:06 for me. I did start late, and I'm very busy tomorrow. So I actually think that with having this stuff done on the cube that we did, I actually think that now might be a decent place to stop. I know, yeah, it was a bit of a, well, 2.5 hours isn't, like, nothing, but, like, compared to my sometimes going like 5 hours or whatever. Yeah, I'm gonna have a busy Saturday, so I do, yeah, I knew that. Yeah, I need to, like, kind of, I was expecting today to be a bit of a shorter stream, which I was fine with that being the case, doing just this Rubik's Cube stuff, which, like, now that it's in a state where it is, like, significantly, you know, functional, and we're kind of at the point where, like, it's, you know, it's functional, and things that I'm adding onto it are more, like, polish, extra, like, bonus things. I might start to, like, wind down working on this a little bit less in order to be able to work on this a lot more, which I have to see how exactly I want to handle that with my streaming schedule. For the last while, we've been doing kind of a 4-day cycle thing of 2 games that we're going through. Right now, we're working on Little Nightmares and Final Doom, both of which might only need one more stream to be done, and then we'll be moving on to the next Doom game, Doom 64, and we're going to be starting Heavy Rain, is currently the plan, and more stuff planned down the list. But anyway, currently we're doing, like, Game A, we're going to hammer with a unicycle, Game B, Rubik's Cube thing. Yeah, we'll see how that changes. And if I get to a point where I stop working on this for a bit to, like, just be working on more hammer with the unicycle stuff, I don't know if there's, like, a couple options of what I could do. It could be, like, Game A, hammer with the unicycle, Game B, hammer with the unicycle, and then back to Game A. Or I just make it a 3-stage thing of Game A, Game B, hammer with the unicycle, and then loop around like that. Unsure of what I want to do. I will, you know, figure that out, I guess. I also have been working on stuff, you know, in between streams with that. Especially right now, I'm doing a lot of just, like, I don't know if tedious is the right word, but doing a lot of, like, just cleanup of going through a lot of this code and making it do the same thing but function a lot better, so that changing it will be a lot better, and adding to it as I said, like, have more things that need to reference things on the player or get the player to do stuff, making that just easier to do by just having to be this black box being like, hey player, move over here, and then the player handles all of that, rather than like right now in End Level Spring, I think, does this. And this isn't function. Some of this is functional from like the old player stuff, but it is this where, or am I looking in the right? I might not be looking in the right spot, but oh no, this is the thing that this is the bit that launches the player like a cannon. Oh, that is gonna have to change as well to copy some of what the cannon does. This is actually, I think, some copied code where yeah, the cannons launch you in an arc, and so does that spring, but they maybe should, yeah, copy some more code. Anyways, that was my point. The script I actually wanted to use as an example, I don't know where it is off the top of my head, but like when we hit an end level trigger thing, the player needs to like cut off movement and then like move to a specific spot. So right now, like code that isn't the player tries to handle a lot of that, so making it so that it's like 99% the player that does that, and some other thing just says, hey player, start doing that. Things like that would, you know, be a lot better to have hypothetically. So there's a lot of small things like that I'm continuing to clean up and whatever. And then there's still just a bunch of missing functionality that needs to exist in the first place, like tight ropes. The player used to be able to balance on tight ropes, and when we made the new player, that has been not functional for quite a while. So getting that back to being functional would be good. It's a little bit lower priority to like just a lot of other things, like be able to win levels and then get shot back to the hub world, and having like the camera work with that. That's a bit more higher priority, just be able to have that just, you know, properly functional. But yeah, we'll get, and then even just the tightrope thing will be, I think, a lot more complicated and having to deal with more physics stuff. But you know, we'll get there. I think. It is very nice to be kind of, yeah, having a more functional player again, as opposed to like we went through a while of just being very, very broken, and we're not fully out of there just yet, but we are like significantly better than we were before, is yeah, how that's going. So anyway, I guess, yeah, that will be it for today's stream. I'm just gonna find somebody to raid real quick, and I'm gonna raise up my desk, and yeah. So I don't know if, so tomorrow is gonna be, in theory, we're more of Little Nightmares. We're achievement hunting in that, with the hardest achievement in that game being to beat the game deathless and also speedrun it in under an hour at the same time. We did like 2 attempts of that when we were doing other achievement hunting, but then also that last stream, not last stream that we were playing that game, and did it. I did the under an hour part barely, I think, depending on like with the in-game timer versus real world timer and like what exactly counts for that achievement. It was very close. If I didn't do it, it was very close. But we had like 8 deaths, so gotta like make that a lot lower. Anyway, but then before we do that, I have a few other miscellaneous achievements of other parts of the game that I was gonna clear out first. And yeah, so we'll get to that tomorrow. I don't, because I'm a bit busy tomorrow, I don't exactly know if it'll be a long stream or short stream, but at least I'm pretty confident I'll be able to stream in the first place. And then I already said before, or in my my Discord, I have like my stream schedule. I try to take like 1 day off a week to like catch up on things, and that's gonna be Sunday, so we take Sunday off, and then Monday going forward will be more stuff. So actually Monday will be the next stream working on this. So I'm hoping that from now to then I'll have just some, I'll be making more yeah, little improvements here and there, and yeah. Anyways, so yeah, so that'll do it for this live stream. If you liked it, look forward to more. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you around. Okay, I have noticed that yeah, peace, hello. I thought you'd be, hello and goodbye. Yeah, I thought you already did know, but yeah. Stuck around for amazing conclusion. I have noticed that my, look at my point over there, that means nothing. The views have dropped to 2, that's fine. Usually that happens as I'm doing a long outro, and I think about 3 and above is usually my threshold for rating someone, because usually one of the views is me, and anyways, so I think I'm actually not gonna rate anyone, that's fine. Let me pause that, and any other closing announcements I have? Probably no, I think I said everything I meant to say, and yeah, looking forward to just this game being more functional and all of that stuff. Yeah, and then if we, well, okay, so one last thing is that I have to then figure out, like, what I actually want to do with this next, because we have our planning here. Let me just actually cross off. We got that done, and we actually got this done real quick. I already did my outro, but just a quick bit of, so hypothetically, next thing I might be doing is actually doing some 3D modeling of polishing how the cube itself looks. We'll see. And then potentially other, the idea of looking at, actually, let me just, before I forget, let me just, scramble, scramble and solve as channel point rewards. I don't know how difficult that's gonna be. We'll see, but hypothetically want to look into that as an idea, as a possibility, and see how much of a pain that's gonna be. More with the interfacing from Twitch side of things. Once we can, like, receive as just a boolean of, like, was the thing that just came in, was it a channel point redeem that was this specific one, that at that point we're on easy street. But, like, getting that point, we will see, because I don't believe that this current Twitch command manager thing, I don't believe that we were testing from it before, and I don't think that this intercepts channel point redeems. I could be wrong, though, or it could just be a matter of altering something, or, you know, one Google search away that has some easy, obvious solution. You know, we'll see, but I'll, yeah, figure that out at a later date. But anyways, that's gonna be it for this. Did more rambling past my outro, but that's okay. So, anything's off for real now, and yeah, all right, see ya.